Aussie.
There we go. There we go. Live alive ho on Saturday night as all of New South Wales goes into lockdown because Gladys has fucked the pooch badly. Hello, Luke. Hello, Abigail. I am doing well. Thank you, Luke. I feel like I've been productive. I shot a bunch of videos, so I don't actually, although this is the video making outfit, obviously, I don't actually have to make any videos during this stream because I made them before this stream. And in fact, there's like 2 in the bank, as it were. I've got all 3 of next week's shot. I've got Monday's edited, uploaded, scheduled. Base render for the second one is happening. So I'll finish the editing for Wednesday and Friday videos tomorrow. And then I've still got 2, and one of which was my custom old-fashioned. Oh, Raiders, you want whiskey advice? I love giving whiskey advice. With the great big asterisk, if Kirsten was here, she could give better whiskey advice. But I can give whiskey advice. Speaking of which, well, hey, new special limited edition Starward whiskey single malt, 48%, so almost 100 proof, finished in Islay Scotch barrels to pick up some of those peaty notes. I will have a proper taste of that neat a bit later. But I just made a video where I explained how I made my bottled old-fashioned, which is here in an old Starward bottle with all the neat painting on it. Love the starbursts and stuff on these bottles. And because this is so black, it stands out really well. So yes, that's got 3 sorts of whiskies and a special sugar syrup I made and a bunch of Angostura bitters. And it's good. It actually might be too heavy on the sugar. Oh, Raiders, excellent question. If you were getting a 50th Prezi, would it get a single $1,000 Aussie whiskey or 5 $200 Aussie single malts? Absolutely 5 $200 single malts. Much more enjoyment out of that, much more. The $1,000 one may or may not be better than a $200 one. It's probably just rarer. But there's the diminishing return things, like a $200 whiskey is way fucking better than a $50 whiskey. And a $1,000 whiskey may or may not be better than a $200 whiskey, but it won't be as much better than a $200 whiskey as a $200 whiskey is to a $500. And as Robot Man Greg says, you also get variety. If you do 5 $200 single malts, you get variety. Just way more enjoyment for the person. And on you for bloody planning someone. That's a fucking wicked 50th birthday present. That's good. Fox, hello. Yes, New South Wales in full lockdown. Yes, and hello, Lee. Yeah. No, Raiders, I like would be a 1,000% on, and you don't even have to go to $200. It depends. I'd get stuff from different distilleries. I'd get from 5 different distilleries myself. I'd get like one from Lark, and you're not going to have to go to $200. One from Lark, one from Starward, one from Archie Rose. If you like a rye for a bit of variety, probably one from the Gospel. What's that? That's 4. And then you're wide open for the 5th, I guess. There's lots of things. And hello, Loranda. Did I say hello? And Greg, you could also experiment with a blend if you had the 5. But I think I'd prefer to... Oh, except when they all ran down. then you do the infinity bottle and put them all together. But yes, if someone wants to be my best friend for life, give me 5 Australian single malts. Oh my god, I have a lot of Australian single malts, like this one, which I had a cheeky taste of, and it's nice. And I actually made a cocktail with it just before coming on. I made a variant of the Blood and Sand with blood orange juice, and because it's Australian, I called it a bloody sand. Yes, but I'm going to have a drink of that neat after I finish my old fashioned, because I made the video for my old fashioned just before going live. Wow, that's really good. Like the sugar syrup I made is with brown sugar and cinnamon, and I kind of cooked it up on the stove for a while to reduce it. So it wasn't really caramelly and syrupy. I reduced it by about 25%. This is probably a little bit sweet. Like it's really fucking good. I really like it. But I might, when I have 1 or 2 more drinks, I might top it up with more whiskey without adding any more sugar to it and seeing what that's like. Micro USB, you're at the start, not the end. Well done. Raiders, if someone you've been friends with your kids. Yes, Raiders, there will definitely be another Tassie one. 6 a.m. for you, Micro USB. Okay, 8 p.m. here on Saturday night. There will definitely be a bunch of good Tassie distilleries. Again, I would just throw it out there. Lark, Starwood, like probably get the Fortis from Starwood. That's the 100 proof one, or get this limited edition one. Lark, Starwood, Archie Rose, the Gospel, and another Tassie one. Micro USB, we are living in the future if you want any tips. I'm sorry, that's what I knew. Someone said something I want to respond to. Abigail, you talked about when you had the quote from Bros about lockdown, couldn't help reading it in the front, mocking Friendly Geordie's accent. The interesting thing is Barilaro doesn't talk like that. So when Barilaro says Geordie's is being racist, I think that's a bit fucking rich for someone from the LNP, because fuck those hypocritical fucking sacks of shit. But Friendly Geordie's is definitely perpetuating racist stereotypes that aren't even accurate in the case of Barilaro. But fuck Barilaro trying to go with, oh, he's being racist. So I just did it then. Oh my God. Jesus. Yeah. So no, Barilaro doesn't have a point. Barilaro is a piece of shit. That's what I'm saying. 2 things. Oh, shit. Yes, Raiders, the blasphemy. The blasphemy. If you're a coffee fiend, friggin' get that. I don't like coffee, so it's not for me. But yes. Oh, shit. Get the blasphemy. Definitely. Yeah, that's what you should get from Archie Rose. Get the blasphemy. I know. Abigail, you can't help it. That was terrible. I was just saying, well, Friendly Geordie's was full of shit. And then I did the voice. I did the fucking voice. And it's just, Jesus. So, yes. In case anyone thinks I'm ragging on Friendly Geordie's, I'm clearly just as bad as him. So, there you go. But also, 2 things can be true. Like, a lot of people on the left really dislike a lot of Friendly Geordie's attitudes and whatnot. I'm with him on being... I mean, I'm not married to Labor like he seems to be, but in terms of who should form government, definitely Labor over the LNP. And he's very pro-union, and I'm very pro-union. It's just that he doesn't really go in for intersectional politics, which I think is important. But yeah, I try to say to people on the left who think he's a bit of a shithead, I go, well, two things can be true, you know. Barrel arrow can be absolute garbage. His lawsuit can be as offensive as fuck and a threat to free speech. And Friendly Geordies can be a bit of a dick. They can both be true. I got my stove's doing the buzzy thing, which you probably can't hear, but annoys the shit out of me. So I'm just gonna be off here for about 20 seconds. I have to change the time on the clock. From 12. Got to get it to 24. So it's on 13 and 14 is like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Now we'll stop for the rest of the night, unless it's super fucking broken. Sorry, where'd you go? All right, so we're going to have to pace myself for drinks because I did a blood and sand about an hour ago. Now I'm doing my old fashioned. Micro USB, you love guns. I used to shoot guns when I was young. I think everyone should be allowed to target shoot, like at a shooting range. But the degree of gun ownership in the US is ridiculous. Oh, Micro USB, are there other American stereotypes besides they're loud, they're stupid, they're fat, they're guns? Possibly a subset. Again, and I don't agree that these stereotypes are in any way universally true, but probably a subset or a side to they're stupid is a feeling that Americans know almost nothing about the world outside their borders. That seems to be a thing. Yep, everywhere's in lockdown, in lockdown, in lockdown. That's the lockdown song I just made up. Abigail, brother has guns on his farm. Oh, yeah. File shit, that's where I was. Friends on farms when I was growing up. Go out target shooting. They go, I'm going pig shooting. You want? No, I don't want to go pig shooting. I'll go target shooting, but that's not. Hello, Chris. How's it going? Micro USB, I think it depends where you are. You don't see when anyone in NYC needs a semi-auto. People think anyone should be able to own any weapon. Oh, yeah, no. There's something that I can't see as anything but insanity in a certain subset of the US with regards to guns. It just makes no sense. Oh, and thanks, Abigail, for an update on Nobody. He had a bad sleep, but he feels better. He's our bro. We all just want the best for him. So hopefully he starts to feel better. Luke, what's self-defense? If you use lethal force to defend yourself in Australia, there's a better than average chance you're going to prison. If you do self-defense with an illegal weapon or a weapon you don't have a legal right to, you should expect to go to prison because you should be able to do the self-defense without killing someone. And yes, Justin, the bloody marketing of guns in Walmart's ridiculous. So, Micro SCP, you think you don't get taught much outside of the US? World War I and II, Romans, basic world history. Yeah, but what? Okay, and this is a fairly uninformed observation on my part. It's a very surface level observation, but from what I've seen, the American education of within your borders, your history within your borders, is more comprehensive than, for instance, what we have in Australia. But your education about stuff outside your borders is sadly lacking. There we go. You went to a shooting range in Phuket, fired a Glock pistol, M16 sniper rifle. Nice. Stuff you were in Vic. Oh, no. Can't get back to Albury. Oh, Jesus. All right. Micro USB, you don't know your own amendments or but presidents. On the bright side, dude, I don't know anything about our constitution or our prime ministers. So, yeah. Hey, Kelsey King. Raiders, do you need to use less or equal force to defend yourself in Australia? Basically, If you kill someone in self-defense in Australia, it's going to be very seriously looked at. You're not necessarily going to go to prison, but it's going to be really fucking seriously looked at. Oh, yeah. Okay, Chris. Yeah, you raise a good point. Also, from what I've seen, the history taught in US schools is whitewashed propaganda. It's comprehensive propaganda, though. Yeah, Justin, you took the photos of marketing guns to kids in Walmart. Yeah. Celtic King, will Ladesy join us? I have not heard from him today. Who knows? He was a brave little soldier last night, hung out with us for ages. He might be tuckered out tonight. I haven't heard from him. We'll wait and see. Mark USB, education in general is lacking unless you pay for private school. Yeah, and then it's focused on your history, no one else. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, Micro SB. I have heard down south they really like to pretend the Civil War wasn't about slavery. It's about states' rights. Yeah, states' rights to do what, dude? And the whole thing about that gross, vile, offensive Confederate memorials and statues in the South. You can't destroy history. Yeah, it's like, go fuck yourself. Do you see statues of Hitler or the SS in Germany? No, you don't. Have we forgotten about Hitler and the SS? No, we haven't. It's just, there is no two ways about it. People who talk about Southern heritage and whatnot are racist as fuck, wish they still had slaves, and still think the Confederates were right in the Civil War. No two ways about it. Jesus Christ. Celtic King, have you just... sorry. Celtic, sorry, it's making me laugh. Have you expressed the Celtic love to Aidsy? Have you ever not? I don't think anyone is under any illusions there. So, that's I got a blood orange today, and it's like really red peel. I just like that visually. Safa, is Trump a Confederate? Trump is a liar and a con man and a criminal, and he panders to the people who want to do all the Confederate stuff. But I believe Trump has more contempt for most of his supporters than I do. I think Trump just laughs as he exploits them. Omnigobble. First articles of the Yes, the first articles of the Confederacy were about the right to hold slaves, and they referred to themselves as the slave-owning states. My God. It's interesting, Chris, with, the is or isn't Trump a neo-fascist. I thought, okay, Trump shamelessly adopted fascist tactics and ideology and whatnot. I used to think I was too lazy to be a fascist, but I've seen a lot of people who are way smarter than me and have way more experience with this sort of thing have looked and gone, no, Trump is a fascist. Trump would gladly install himself as dictator. Trump would see a fascist dictatorship in the US as a positive thing. And I'm going, okay, it's very hard to argue with when you put it like that. Suffers Morrison, fascist. No, Morrison's just a fucking loser. He's a nasty, lying, slimy piece of shit. He is a delusional Christian supremacist. He's a horrible bigot. He's garbage. I don't think he's in the ballpark of being a fascist. I think he's as reprehensible as a fascist, but that's not what he is. Oh, I see, Chris. Legally speaking, you don't know what defamation of a Confederate monument in your area. Yeah, if something happens to it, you didn't know, man. I go, hello, Annette. Hello. So, Micro USB, you sleep in Oregon. State was founded. Oh, yes. That's okay. Here's an hilarious thing. The southern states, because they were the Confederacy and the slave-owning states, everyone goes, they're the racist ones. But Oregon, which has pockets of being really progressive now, but Oregon, in its early state constitution, was founded as a pure white state. Crazy racist history, as Micro USB says. Oregon was very anti-slavery, but only because they didn't want black people in the US at all. For a very long time, it was illegal for a black person to live in Oregon. Fucking wild. Omnigobble, that's a good summary. Trump is a fascist. People are scared of using the term. Morrison's just a scummy salesman. He's a gross, creepy, bigoted Christian supremacist, which is very dangerous. He's as contemptible as a fascist, but I don't think he's a fascist. So, Micro CP, Eugene, Oregon, where you lived, it's a place called Skinner's Butt, where they hung people. Nice. My uni, where I went with AIDSy, was Mitchell CAE back in the day, Charles Sturt Uni now. Our principal back in the day, Mel McMichael, he was a graduate of Oregon State University, and he organized an annual exchange. So we'd get half a dozen OSU students stay with us for a year, and half a dozen of our students would go to OSU for a year. And one of whom was a good friend of mine, actually stayed in Australia and is still in Australia all these years later. Oh wow, Mike USB, there's a big cross up there, overlooks the entire town. I assume that's people saying we're sorry we hung, and I assume it means like lynched black people. Oh yeah, Chris, no, Morrison has literally lied non-stop about vaccines. Every major public statement he's made on vaccines has been bullshit. Abigail, you think marketing people are disconnected from humanity? Yes. Scotty from marketing, his problem started when he worked in marketing. Safa, no, I never went to Oregon. No. So Fox, oh yes. Yeah, and yeah, Morrison being a scummy salesman working in marketing, he fucking sucks. And Chris, you live in Oregon. A lot of legit, oh yes, legit Nazis and fascists. You got to fight them out of town. Yeah. So it's Oregon's very interesting with the mix of super progressive and super racist pockets in the state. Marcus, but you have to say, as much as just like Trump, he actually did. Oh, okay. I feel like you're leading us on micro USB, but what? Tell me one good thing Trump did. Used to get fined on taxes if you couldn't afford healthcare. Trump got rid of it. Okay. Here's the thing. I will honestly say, from a particular point of view, one good thing Trump did is he fucking destroyed the machinery of the Republican Party. Like, they thought they could stop him, and they couldn't. The two bad fallouts of that: one, Trump became president, which was, of course, an obviously horrific thing. Second, his success warned the Democrats, because it looked very much like Bernie Sanders was going to be super successful. One of the reasons the Republicans failed to stop Trump is in the primaries. In the primaries, no one dropped out. They splintered the anti-Trump vote, and progressively anti-Trump people started dropping out of the race. And Trump had been in there so long and got so much profile, more people switched to Camp Trump. Now, you look in the Democratic primaries, Bernie Sanders did exceptionally well early on. Like, literally, he had unprecedented levels of success with the first couple of primaries. And that scared the shit out of the Democratic machine. And then when they had it's one of the ones, it was the first one where Biden did well. One of the Carolinas, I think. And Biden actually did spectacularly well, much better than anyone expected. And the Republican machine very obviously got all the other contenders who were not Sanders or Elizabeth Warren, who was only going to undermine Sanders. And they said, you are dropping out, okay? It's Biden. It's Biden. If you stay in, you'll weaken Biden and Sanders will get the nomination. We cannot have that happen. We cannot have a genuinely progressive person as the Democratic president. We need Biden. He's establishment. So you motherfuckers are dropping out. And they did. And then you had the Super Tuesday, and just all the votes went to Biden, which was not illegal or corrupt, but it was a good old political rat fucking for sure. And part of the reason they did it is they saw the Republicans didn't do it, and it resulted in Trump getting the nomination. And they, I believe, correctly realized if they didn't take extreme action, Sanders was going to get the Democratic nomination. I wish he did. I really wish he did. Lee, Kanye might still want to be president. Who knows? Fox, something funny. Trump has to respect the president when Trump. Oh, yeah. No, they're, again, the right everywhere, but in the US in particular, just argues in bad faith all the fucking time. And I just refuse to even engage. I refuse to engage because they're just fucking liars. Raiders, I don't really think Hillary did that to Bernie, and I think 2016 was different. But again, it was the Democratic machine, 100% behind Clinton and against Sanders. But I don't think they rat fucked him in 2016 the way they rat fucked him in 2020. But yes, and yeah, Abigail. Apparently, Kanye literally needs to take his meds. Kanye is suffering from some mental health challenges. And it can lead him to say and do rash things. Mike Crispy, love when Trump won. We discovered Russia helped him. He won fair and square. Russia did nothing. And when he lost, he goes, yeah, it was rigged. Yeah. When there was obvious corruption and collusion, it's fine. And just when he lost, no, it's rigged. Chris, that's why you're an independent, because both parties are idiots. I mean, I don't think I could actively support the Democratic Party in the US. Maybe some of the individual, more progressive people. Politics generally, though, is just so fucked and corrupting and screwed up. It's very hard to know if you can ever do anything good. Shieldsy, moving on. This is my custom old-fashioned, man, which I made a video for just before going live. So I made a very special cinnamon brown sugar syrup in this. And then there's 3 sorts of whiskey. Wild Turkey 101, Gospel Limited Edition Rye, which is like 58%, and the Starwood Mesquite Smoked, which is 55%. So this is pretty goddamn proofy. And yes, Celtic King, I think we should spend a moment on how beautiful Shieldsy is. He's a beautiful man, and we love him. So yes. Oh, yeah. Well, see, Eddie, politics in terms of political parties, I agree with you. Can't solve the problems people expect it to. Local organising is where it's at. If you care, voting is not the main thing you should be doing. Local organising is what you should be doing. I have no idea if the microphone picked that up or not, but it would be pretty funny if it did. Sorry, fun and games in the angry kitchen is all I'm saying. Oh, yeah. Raiders, I think I agree with you. The Democratic Party machine did everything it could to block Bernie Sanders in 2015, 2016. But it wasn't as brutal and extreme as what they did in 2020. Because Sanders was just doing amazingly. And they pulled out all stops. In 2015, 2016, I feel like they could just do their normal shit and block him. I don't think what they did was fair. But in, 2020, they just went all out. So, oh wow! Suggestion you watch a documentary how the US caught Russian spies in the US. That sounds interesting. Celtic King, the Gospel make rye whiskies, and they are good. A rye whiskey tends to, the word we usually use, it's spicier than other whiskies. Not spicy like chili, but the grain rye has a spicier note than corn or wheat, which is what most whiskies are made of. So But yes, the Gospel make good rye whiskies. I bought one of their limited editions, and it's fucking awesome. And that's the 500 mils of whiskey in this. 200 mils is the limited edition Gospel Rye. 200 mils is Wild Turkey 101 bourbon. That's a 101 proof bourbon. And 100 mils is Starwoods Mesquite Smoked. So they're all over 50% alcohol. The Wild Turkey is 50.5. The Starwood is 55%. And the Gospel is about 58%. But basically, this is very good. And I think when it goes down a bit, I'm going to top it up probably with Starwood Nova and not add any more sugar, and then taste what that's like. And maybe some more, I think it might need some more bitters. So maybe a bit more bitters in there as well. We'll see. But it's fucking winner. So now I've got an infinity bottle of whiskey, an infinity freezer martini, and this may or may not become an infinity old fashioned. And by infinity, I mean you just keep topping it up. You don't let it run out. I haven't yet made a final decision. And how you'd keep it, an old fashioned is just whiskey, sugar, and bitters. So if I wanted this to be an infinity bottle, I would periodically top it up with a whiskey, sugar syrup, and bitters. I may or may not do that. I may just finish the bottle and then make a whole new one. Who knows? Kirsten, I have not had a proper tasting of the Expeated yet. Prior to the stream I did, I actually made a variation of a blood and sand with it. What I'm drinking, and hello, Kirsten, is my old fashioned, which is a blend of Wild Turkey, Gospel, and Starwood Mesquite, and a brown sugar cinnamon syrup that I put in, and Angostura bitters, and it's really good. Probably a bit sweet, but it's good. But when I finish this, I'm going to have a proper taste of this. I'll do some of it neat, and then I'll put some ice in and see where it goes. Shieldsy, yeah, Trump completely failed with his wall, mostly because it was bullshit politics and a scam. But I think most of us are agreeing about a wall around New South Wales at the moment because Gladys won't do the right fucking thing. Pour one out for my homies in New South Wales because you've been fucked over. See, when we got fucked up in Victoria last year with our second wave, we had the excuse of ignorance. We didn't know how bad it would get. It was started by, and I'm no sort of Dan stan to the extent that I refuse to admit our second wave was caused by fuck-ups in how the hotel quarantine was set up. But we had the excuse of ignorance. We literally didn't know how bad it would get. The thing in New South Wales is inexcusable because every other state, as soon as they have an outbreak, they go bang, lockdown. And New South Wales was sniffing their own farts. And again, I don't want to say New South Wales. The LNP, Gladys and pals, were sniffing their own farts and believing their own press releases and going, oh no, we don't need to lock down. We manage stuff without lockdowns. And they've fucked all of New South Wales and they are fucking the whole country with their fuckery. And yeah, Shieldsy, sizable outbreak in Dubbo by the looks of it, my old hometown. And Michael USB, you're back. Oh, you're at work. Nice. Slow on a Saturday morning. Glad we can keep you company, my friend. So to Kirsten, from the bottle, I'm going to pour it into a glass. See if you, but oh, it's good. Like the nose on this, but what I particularly love is it doesn't burn. It's just like, oh, it's just like the nose is fabulous. It's so good. Oh, so you do have an outside mask mandate now, Kirsten? Should have been that 6 weeks ago. It's a fucking farce. It's contemptible what the New South Wales government did. Oh no, there was the question. What's a neat drink? Neat literally just means the drink poured into a glass with nothing else. No ice, no water, no modifiers, no garnish, nothing. You literally just pour the drink into a glass and drink it. See you, Celtic King. Okay, so Kirsten, it's just for 9 LGAs. It should be all of Greater Sydney. The mask thing should be all of Greater Sydney. Suffolk, I'm glad to be tried for contempt. No, contempt has a specific legal meaning. The best you can hope for with Gladys is she gets embarrassed by an inquiry that shows in very stark terms how badly they fucked up. Micro USB, you reckon Trump will run again in 2024? I don't know, but I don't think he will because I don't think he wants to lose again. I think he wants to act as if he's going to run, but I don't think he will. Also, predictions, terrible. The chances of any prediction I make being wrong are close to 100%. So I'm just throwing that out there. So Nettie, doing some maths today. Damn sure they're only picking up between 1 and 2/3 of what. Oh yeah, no. That like the jump to 400 and something today. That's a drop in the bucket. Like the whole thing, like the peak in Victoria was 750 cases or thereabout, but we had very active, aggressive steps in place to arrest the spread at that point. So it hit that and then it went down. New South Wales is going to hit 750 in the next week, and it's just going to keep going up because they're not doing what they need to do. I like that, Raiders. You can't find Gladys in contempt, but she is contemptuous. Yeah. Man, I love these Luxardo cherries. They're so good. Man, that's good. Yum. All right, I think I need some water as a palate cleanser and also to keep Shieldsy happy. Just get some water. Gonna drink some water, and then I'm gonna drink my new whiskey, and then maybe make something with it. Maybe make an old fashioned with it. I think this deserves to be in an old fashioned, actually. Yes, Fox. Yep, fuck the Premier. Fuck the fuck nugget anti-maskers. Yep, fuck them all. Yeah, Raiders. The Victorian peak was about 750. I think it was slightly less than 750. There was this peak, 750, and then it went down. I think New South Wales is going to hit that in the next week, and it's just going to keep going up because they're not doing what they need to. They're just fucking sucks. So, Justin, you don't think you have all the cases in Canberra detected? Who knows? Fox, if you have any Lux Brew stuff left, see what you can make with the new whiskies. What would be the best one? Probably the Verbena. Basically the equivalent of a Ooh, Fox, yes. No, you're on a fucking winner, Fox. I think I'll do an old-fashioned, sort of hybrid between a sour and an old-fashioned. Instead of putting sugar syrup, I'm going to put half a shot of the Lux Brew Verbena in. Yes, Fox, you're a smart man. You're a smart man. Oh, yeah, no, Raiders, New South Wales will hit 4 figures a day. I personally have no doubt New South Wales is going to hit 4 figures a day, and they're also going to hit the dozens of deaths a day. The deaths have been quite low so far, but that ain't staying the case. Ooh. Oh, nice. Kirsten, AstraZeneca available down the road. Booked it immediately. Go team AZ. I cry a bit when politicians say AZ. When I got my second one on Tuesday, no side effects at all, by the way. Second one on Tuesday, it was mainly older people. There was one young lad just next to me, and by young I mean under 30, and so go that lad, quite honestly. But yes, if I was in New South Wales, I would have got AstraZeneca months ago. Alexander, hello. Bought a locally made blood orange cranberry liqueur. Oh my God, dude, that sounds so good. Yes, I do, in fact, have a suggestion. All right, depends what else you have. But the first thing that springs to mind would be a version of a sidecar. Sidecar is a fantastic simple cocktail. One of my early favorites when I started getting into cocktails. It was basically the cocktail that told me that I liked brandy, that I liked cognac. I had no idea I liked brandy before I made it. So a traditional sidecar has brandy. Doesn't have to be a cognac, just any decent brandy, and triple sec, which is an orange liqueur, and lemon juice. So, and it's a 3-2-1 ratio. So if you have any brandy, I would absolutely say a sidecar would be fucking killer. And I would go 3-2-1 brandy, your blood orange cranberry liqueur, and lemon juice, and you shake it with ice. It's a fucking great drink. So what I'm saying is 45 mils brandy, 30 mils your liqueur, 15 mils lemon juice, shake it with ice, pour it in a glass. Fucking great drink. And if you don't have brandy, seriously, probably just your liqueur on ice with soda if you feel like it. That sounds great. Blood orange and cranberry sounds fucking awesome, quite honestly. Yeah, no, Alexander, just get a decent brandy. A sidecar fucking kicks ass. It's such a simple drink. Just brandy, your orange liqueur, in your case, blood orange cranberry liqueur, and lemon juice. 3-2-1 is the ratio. So 45 mils brandy, 30 mils liqueur, 15 mils lemon juice. Shake on ice, put it in a nice glass. Fucking awesome. And for that matter, I'm serious. It sounds like it would be good on ice, or pour it over ice cream, or just have it with soda. That actually sounds fucking great. Yes, Abigail, you and I will both die on Hill Z. It's just a thing. Justin, should people who live alone be allowed to have one visitor? As I understand it, the phrase has been called a singles bubble. Even if it's just a friend coming over, but it has to be the same one person, and you have to be each other's one person. Even if it's just a friend, you pretend they're your significant other. And I think in most jurisdictions, they're like, oh, great, I love it. We're all there. Lee, Raiders, we're all going to fight to the death on Hill Z. And I'm down for it. So Fox, you and Scarlett getting your first AstraZeneca on Monday? Yes. Nice. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get boosters. I don't think we'll need boosters till next year. I think next flu season, it might even be a single shot. The flu season booster might be standard flu stuff and COVID booster, or it might be two different shots. Who knows? We'll wait and see. But we're going to have mRNA vaccines being made bulk in Australia by next. So by next year, things will be much better. But Morrison's managed to screw the fucking pooch. Abigail, complex question, polyamorous people. And I like complex questions. Okay, that's interesting. So you would be talking about polyamorous people who don't live in the same residence. That's complex. My personal view is yes, a polycule, they should all be able to visit each other. That's the only respectful answer. Practical terms, the people who make the rules are kind of idiots and don't know. So, yeah, that would be complex. If you were in a polycule and you didn't live in the same residence, that'd be fucking difficult. And Tassie, hello, lurking on Twitch. And I agree with you. Morrison's been screwing the pooch long before COVID, but he has fucked COVID enormously. He has cost the economy billions by just non-stop fucking up. He's such a fucking clown. Yeah, Justin, singles bubbles so people don't go months without seeing people. Ugh. See, I don't like anyone else. I like you all well enough online. Okay, don't get me wrong. I don't like anyone enough outside of my household to miss physical contact with them. And that's not strictly true. I'm making a joke there. But I am also spoiled. I am in a very privileged position with the people in my a house, and I know it's difficult and complex for other people. Kirsten, your friend's single bubble buddy. Oh, you were your friend's single bubble buddy when you're in Melbourne, yeah. But I bet it sucked for them that you moved to Sydney. All right, I've done my water, my palate cleanser, and my pause from drinking the alcohol. Now, I'm gonna have a proper drink of my unexpected Starwood. I did take the piss out of them. I made a video with this, and I just said, yeah, that name, unexpected, which is meant to be unexpected Pete. It's not really working for me, guys. I mean, I'm sure you all sat around and thought it worked. I love Starwood, love the people there. I don't think that works. I don't think that hits. So Tassie, no, yeah, Morrison's not going to stop screwing the pooch either. You're with me. You couldn't entertain polyamorous and you don't miss outside people. Yeah, just the way it is. And Raiders, when Pfizer had to denounce Morrison lies when you, but that's happened multiple times. I can think of 3, 4, 5, 6 times he's made some sweeping statement about vaccines, and the vaccine provider has gone, no, that's not real. That is not real at all. And he just keeps doing it, and he just keeps fucking lying, and he sucks so fucking much. Anyway, I'm going to get an appropriate drinking receptacle to try my whiskey. Neat. What would be the best of my receptacles? This one. This is a good one. My absinthe glass. It actually says absinthe on there. There's a set I got a few years ago, a bottle of absinthe and this and an absinthe spoon. So the idea is you put absinthe in this glass, like a shot of absinthe, put the absinthe spoon over there with a sugar cube on it, and then you drip chilled water through to dilute the absinthe and dissolve the sugar. And when the sugar all dissolves in, that's when you drink it, your loose absinthe. Yeah, Kirsten, I bet they paid a lot of money for a marketing firm to come up with that name. I don't feel like it's money well spent. It's kind of cringe, as the kids say, but it's good fucking whiskey. Oh yes, Stazzy, my mouth is the appropriate receptacle, but first, let's put a little dram in there. That nice gurgling, bit of booze ASMR. You can see it's a really beautiful amber color. It's a lovely color. And on the nose. What does it smell like? Oh, very malty. I'm not really getting smoke, like the whole thing about it's aged in peated whiskey barrels. I'm not really getting smoke on the nose. It's really nice though. It smells. Taz, you want to make dishes? Oh, just for my obsessive compulsive sort of things, you know. So okay, little taste. Oh, Oh, it's like initially, oh man, oh, it just develops. Like I swallowed it. After you swallowed it, oh, initially it's quite sweet, and then it goes down, and you're getting all that sort of roasted malt and whatnot, and it's very slight smokiness. But even after you've swallowed it, the flavors develop on your palate. Fucking hell, it's good. Oh, micro speed, the singles bubble. Okay, so we had lockdown rules here where you're not allowed to leave your house except for specific reasons, and you're definitely not allowed to visit other people's houses or have other people visit yours, and that includes family members. But you were allowed the single bubble. It was basically if you were living alone, but you had a significant other, a romantic partner, you were allowed to visit between them. And I think you could swing it so your one bubble person didn't have to be someone you're actually doing it with. So it's basically so people weren't completely alone, but you had to be each other's one person. Like you couldn't pick one person and then they couldn't pick another person. You had to be each other's one person. You were allowed to visit each other. And Nettie, you heard from nobody. He's on the mend. Really appreciate the love last night. Thank you. I want to thank you, Nettie and Abigail appear to have both checked in on our man Nobody today, which is lovely. Okay, so while I'm ragging on the name, Unexpected, it's a really good whiskey. Like it's really nice. I'm going to put it on ice now. Open it up a bit. When you put water in a whiskey, it often opens it up a bit and actually reveals other notes, which is an interesting characteristic of whiskey. And I'm adding water by putting it in ice. Micro speed, driving yourself home. All right, see you again. Okay, so the very slight dilution from the ice mellows it a bit. Oh, now the smoke's coming out. That's really interesting. Having put it on ice, that's brought out the peat flavors. That's because on the nose and on the initial sip, I wasn't really getting any peat at all. Yeah. Just a little bit of dilution has opened it up a bit. And I'm really getting that Scotch peat taste in it. Nice. Abigail, to the best of my knowledge, all the rules are super monogamous centric. I don't think they allow for the concept of multiple intimate partners. Like that, Nettie. The Pollies just have wives and mistresses, so you're guessing they'll tell you to pick a wife. There was jokes that were real in the UK when they had various lockdown things. Tory politicians freaking out about lockdown rules that kept them in home with their families because they couldn't see their mistresses. It was real. I mean, it was a joke, but it was real. I was like, oh my God, the fuck. So, yeah, that's the thing. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So putting it on ice or adding a little bit of water really brings out the peat characteristics. Really tastes like a scotch now. And it didn't so much before, just neat before I put it on ice. It didn't so much taste like a peated scotch, but just that little bit of dilution and chilling brought out all those notes. Oh, fascinating. Oh my God, yes, it's so smoky now. Wow. Wow, that is really interesting. Wow. It is absolutely amazing how big a difference that makes with whiskey. It's like, okay, I'm drinking the whiskey neat, yum, yum, yum. And then you either, if you add even a few drops of chilled water or put it on ice, the character completely changes. Wow. That's really interesting. Okay. I think I might drink more water. What's the time? It's just coming up on 9. Okay. Not going to go super late tonight. Like I went to 2 a.m. last night. Not doing another 6-hour stream. Then I slept till fucking 10 or even 11 o'clock this morning. It was 7 hours anyway because I had my headgear on and it tells me how long I had my headgear on. I had my headgear on for 7 hours in total. It's like 5 hours on the lounge and I woke up and it was daylight. So I went into the bedroom, said hello to Mrs. Angry, and put the headgear back on and went to sleep for another 2-3 hours. Oh, Nettie, you've been eating fruit jellies all day and you feel it. That's probably the sugar. Yep, you got to be a little bit careful with the snacks. What did I eat today? I've been eating meal replacement bars. Oh god, Mrs. Angry makes this just fucking amazing dish. It's mashed cauliflower, which honestly tastes better than mashed potato, and I'm a huge mashed potato fan. And then this mushroom sauce. It's got mushroom and celery and lots of nice savory things. And Mrs. Angry has got the whole umami thing just perfect in this thing. So it's this like mushroomy sauce thing. It's kind of like mash and gravy for grown-ups. It's really fucking good. Dave, you want the recipe for cauliflower? I mean, we literally like there's no added. Oh, there's probably a bit of olive oil. Mashed cauliflower recipe. Creamy mashed cauliflower. Is this what Mrs. Angry does? Let me go. Oh Jesus. Okay. So they make a really decadent one. Like, okay, if you make mashed cauliflower the way you make mashed potato, and to mash cauliflower, you basically have to steam it so it's super soft, and you get it in like a tea towel and crush it and squeeze all the water out of it. You end up with a mash. And Mrs. Angry doesn't like if I made mashed potato, it has butter and milk in it. It's decadent. And this cauliflower mash doesn't. I think she does put some olive oil in it or truffle oil in it. But yeah, this plain cauliflower mash tastes way better than plain potato mash. So if I made it and added butter and milk and stuff, I think it'd be super fucking decadent. But yeah, I would say because I used to have the recipe Mrs. Angry followed. But yeah, just do the Google thing or make mashed cauliflower the way you make mashed potato, and it'll be great. Because I never would have believed I would say this, but I think cauliflower makes a better mash than potato. It's slightly more difficult. It's slightly more difficult to mash cauliflower than it is potato. You know, like you want to whiz a blender thing at some point, but it's great. Yeah. Oh, Dave, you're doing a purple cauliflower mash. Man, that sounds good. That sounds good. That really sounds good. So, Nettie, your math seemed to work out. Bad stats were a result of those damn freedom protests 3 weeks ago. Oh, God. I'm hoping we're getting out of lockdown this week. Even if we're out of lockdown, there's still going to be restrictions. All right, I'm going to drink some more water. And then I'm going to make an old fashioned with this because I think this will make a super, super, super good old fashioned. Even though I have my big bottle of old, I think I'll put this in the fridge now, actually. So I made a video tasting this, and it's not going to be one of next week's videos. So at the end of it, I said I might even put this aside for a week and adapt it a bit and do a second tasting. So I think I will. Silly, your son calls it the Tree of Doom, even though it's healthy to eat. And that's a perfectly legit thing for a kid. In fact, that is a wonderfully creative thing for a kid to call cauliflower the Tree of Doom. Nice, Safa. You got your car parked, ready to drink in moderation. Even though I get kind of fucked up in some live streams, I don't like to encourage binge drinking. Even though what I do pretty much every Friday night would have medical doctors tutting and tisking and saying, yes, that is binge drinking. Jesus Christ, the clarified zombie I drank last night just by itself qualified as binge drinking. So, yeah. Nettie, you can live with restrictions, having good intentions. Oh, younger schooling. Yeah, no, the homeschooling. So fucking difficult. Oh, nice, Safa. Footy season's over, drinks. Enjoy, my son. Enjoy. All right, I am going to drink a bit more water, though. Then I'm going to make an old-fashioned. Oh, man, then if I'm not completely arsehole at that point, if I am not completely arseholed after making an old-fashioned, I might make a Manhattan as well. Safa, how many cocktails is over 0.5? Oh, no, dude. One cocktail is over 0.05. Okay? It depends what the cocktail is, okay? 3 standard drinks puts you at 0.05. A lot, and I mean a fucking lot of cocktails are more than 3 standard drinks. Like your average martini, which is one of my favorite drinks, minimum 2 standard drinks in a martini, leaning towards 3. So 1 martini is right on the edge of putting you to 0.05. Basically, any decent cocktail, a single cocktail, is dangerously close to putting you to 0.05. Nettie, we know what you mean. Absolutely. Lee, you got a uni assignment. Good night. And all the best for your uni assignment. Fish Philippine, hello. Finished your birthday present. You're not a drinker. And that's a reasonable conclusion to come to. Safi, cocktails on special occasions, like when we're hanging out. Yes. Justin, if you get a security clearance, my drinking might be a problem. I've had a security clearance before. Security clearances fucking suck. I don't think I'll ever do it again. Security clearances fucking suck. I do not like them. Yes. Kirsten, you having martinis? If I don't fucking fall over, I might wait till tomorrow to have another freezer martini because I topped up my freezer martini last night. And I'm interested in how that's developed, the freezer martini. But I'm kind of all about the unexpected tonight. So I may not have a freezer martini tonight. I'm definitely going to do an old-fashioned. And I might do a Manhattan. And at that point, I might be fucking done. But honestly, if I get to that point and I'm not done, then I'll probably do a freezer martini. Ooh, your new gin that you can't yet tell us about. All I'm saying, Kirsten, there's a spot on my gin shelf. There was a spot on my whiskey shelf that this is going to fill. There's a spot on my gin shelf that's just waiting for a gin. Nice. Tassie doing a whipped cream vodka straight. Nice. Role-playing GTA 5. That actually sounds like a lot of fun. Nettie, there's definitely a whiskey and chocolate liqueur cocktail. Absolutely. And in fact, look, I'm going to find you one. I am going to find you one. Or I'd just put whiskey and a chocolate liqueur together, quite honestly. But I'll find you one. We'll go on the different site. We go base spirit. whiskey. I'll go with bourbon. Liqueur. We'll go creme de cacao and see what comes up. Okay. Oh, the haberdasher. I made the haberdasher recently and it was really fucking good. Okay. So, the haberdasher. The haberdasher is 45 mils whiskey. Okay, you might not have Fernet or green chartreuse. Oh, Jesus Christ, with cream. Okay. I don't think you need it. Okay. I think you could do it 45 mils whiskey, 30 mils chocolate liqueur, and 30 mils cream, and shaky, shaky, shaky. That would fucking kick ass. If you have Fernet, I'm sure you don't have Fernet. I'm sure you don't have green chartreuse either. But I think 45 mils whiskey, 30 mils chocolate liqueur, 30 mils cream, shaky, 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 would be a fucking kick-ass drink. Or they also got a chocolate Manhattan. So that's 60 mils bourbon, 22.5 mils. So 2 ounces bourbon, 3/4 of an ounce vermouth. And half an ounce of chocolate liqueur. I don't know if you have a vermouth. Kirsten, you have egg whites. Are you doing a sour? Oh, Nettie, you actually have chartreuse, but not cream. Choco Manhattan. So I'd say, okay, if you have a vermouth, I'd go Manhattan and with half an ounce of chocolate liqueur. And I think that would be fucking great, quite honestly. Although, man, you could do a partial. Why did I say man? You could do a partial haberdasher, whiskey, chocolate liqueur, green chartreuse. You could do it with milk, actually. And I'm not even joking. Milk can be quite good in cocktails. Or you could just leave it. Just stir fucking whiskey, chocolate, and chartreuse. So that would be 1.5 ounces, 45 mils of whiskey, 1 ounce, 30 mils of chocolate liqueur, half an ounce of chartreuse. Oh, you're doing a Chocky Manhattan? Yeah, do a Chocky Manhattan. Do just a normal Manhattan with half an ounce. Oh, fucking spoil yourself. An ounce of chocolate liqueur. Jesus. Justin, some poor bugger at Apple's having a job at looking at dick pics. Who watched the series Silicon Valley? There was an hilarious subplot where one of the guys had a job, one of the big tech companies, and he was basically testing their software that automatically detected dick pics and blocked them, but he had to spend his entire day looking at dick pics. It was a really funny subplot. It was really good. Yeah, Nettie, do a Manhattan with, depending how chocolatey you want it, half an ounce to an ounce, 15 to 30 mils of chocolate liqueur. And I think that would be fucking awesome, actually. I think that would be really good. If I wasn't already doing other stuff, I might do it myself. Nettie, you saw a few episodes of Silicon Valley? Because there was like 5 seasons or something. And yeah, having worked in tech for 20 years, I loved that show. It was such a good deconstruction of how fucked up the tech world is. Yes, Nettie, I bet the dude who was a Satanist in the shared house was familiar to you. I bet you've seen that character a few times over the years. In real life. Ugh. And he was a funny character. But it's kind of like that UK series, The IT Crowd, was funny, but it was absurdist funny. It wasn't realistic at all. It was very absurdist. And it was funny in an absurdist way. Whereas Silicon Valley was quite realistic while still being very funny. And over 5 seasons, it had a whole bunch of twists and turns. Tassie, you love the IT crowd. I love the IT crowd too. Fucking hate the creator behind it now. Whatever his fucking name is, Graham something. He came out a few years ago. He's a mad fucking turf. He's a fucking bigot. And it's really sad because I fucking love the IT crowd. Graham Linehan, I think his name is. He's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. I think he's dipped out of social media because the penny finally dropped. He was hurting himself and hurting his career with his horrible fucking bigotry. He's a piece of shit. God, I'm such a good boy drinking water. Where's my jigger at? Because I've drunk enough water. Tassie, you probably fucking love Trump, quite honestly. Going to make an old-fashioned with the unexpected. But that I might use this as my sugar syrup. This is a blood orange milk clarified cordial that I made. Might make that my sugar syrup, but I'll just put a splash in. I'm trying to find where my fucking... I mean, I could eyeball it. I could eyeball it because I'm a fucking madman. But I just kind of like to measure my drinks. Where's my jigger gone? Oh, I rinsed it and put it over here. I am unexpectedly good. Where's my Angostura bitters? Oh, it's here. Okay. Oh, no. Okay. All right. So, as per Fox of Fate's suggestion, I'm going to put a splash from my Lux Brew Verbena. This ought to be good, actually. All right. So, pop. I'm just building this in the glass. 2 ounces of my whiskey. Half an ounce of the Verbena. Justin, Trump won't get the same amount of attention without Twitter or Facebook. You are correct. Which is why I think it's good he was removed. Just a little bit of that. And a couple of dashes of Angostura. Safa, Kao's phone. When was the last time Fox of Fate? He's here tonight. I don't know if he's wandered off. He was talking earlier, though. All right. So that's a very simple old-fashioned. And I think it's an excuse to have another cherry. I am just declaring it's an excuse to have another cherry. I am going to have to. I hope we get out of lockdown this week and I can go back to the bitters lab and get more Luxardo cherries. Also, that you are still here, Fox. Nice. I get to visit Abigail and we can go to the whiskey bar, which we've been talking about doing for a while. Okay. Going to put my cherry in there. Oops. Honestly, if we don't get out of lockdown this Thursday, I'm probably going to have to order a delivery. Put my cherry in my old-fashioned. Sweetened with my blood orange sugar syrup. Oh, yeah. Oh, Justin, I love your optimism that the networks would be wary of giving him free airtime. So if you're saying the tech shops are closing regional New South Wales lockdown, I think freaking everything should close in regional New South Wales. Wow, that's good. Oh my God. Oh, what did I do that for? Put the spoon in the cherry juice. Oh, man. Okay, the way to get the peated character to come out in this new Starwood whiskey is to mix it with even just water or ice. But this is a smoky old-fashioned. Safa, technically your first lockdown. Ask me for tips. No, don't. Don't use drinking as a crutch during lockdowns. Oof. Oh, that's good. Yeah, and I've said this before. Definitely in the early stages of these streams, and so I mean like April, May, June last year, the early stage of these things, I was drinking too much because I was actually drinking more than I was letting on. Often when I was like having a big drink, and this is how you can tell you're drinking too much, because you lie to people. I was having a big drink and saying it was lemonade or something, and it wasn't. It had a couple of shots of alcohol in it. And I was doing that for a while. And then, I don't know, at one point I went, I'm drinking too much. So I stopped doing that. And so I'm just very clear when I'm drinking an alcoholic beverage. I like that, Safa. I should be able to bulk bill. This is therapy. This is therapy. And that was always the intention of these streams. These streams were meant to be therapy and mental health help. So these were always meant to be, yeah, I should talk to Medicare about being able to bulk bill for these streams. Oh, that's good. That is good. All right. Not regretting this purchase. But yeah, I am turning into a little bit of whiskey head, only very minor. Because as Kirsten can attest, real whiskey wankers are fucking serious wankers. I just kind of enjoy it. And the only sort of specialty things that I'm interested in getting into are Australian whiskies. I don't really have any interest in getting into really specialized Scotches or Irish whiskey or American bourbons or ryes or anything. I have an Irish whiskey. I have an American whiskey, a bourbon. The rest are all Australian. But in terms of getting into specialized stuff, I'm only really interested in exploring Australian whiskies. Safi, you didn't use your 10 phone calls for a counselor last year because of the stream. Dude, I'm super glad. It helps, man. I'm super glad. And Justin, you brought yourself a second screen before releasing. You need an HDMI adapter. Oh no! You got to order it online. This is really funny. Like way back, like April last year. So my team decided to work from home about 2 weeks before everyone started working from home. So this is literally before we realized we were all going to be working from home. We had the option, and my team said, yeah, let's do it. Let's work from home. Let's work from home. And I went to Officeworks to get a monitor. About 50% of their monitors were sold out. And I went, oh, really? And they went, yeah, everyone's coming in buying monitors and computer stuff. And I went, all right. So I bought a decent monitor, which is sitting behind me there. 2 days later, there was basically the thing, people are going to start working from home. And then apparently all the monitors and mouses and keyboards were just like sold out. So I just barely got in to get my monitor. So, yeah. I think I'm also very lucky where I'm working. If I'd still been in my previous job, well, I wouldn't be in my previous job. I think they would have, because it was at a uni and the uni's got severely fucked with funding and whatnot. I think I would have been cut like that if I'd still been at a uni when the lockdowns happened. So it just turned out I was really lucky. I changed jobs in December. Was just getting up to speed like March, April, and then we realized COVID was a big deal, and I've been working from home since then. Christ, how long is that? April, May, June, July, August. Fucking 17 months. I'm almost up to 18 months of working from home. There's no, like 2 years ago, if you'd have said to me, you will be working from home the whole fucking time, I would not have believed you. I wouldn't believe that things could just change like that. But here we are, 18 months. I'm bordering on 18 months of working at home. Jesus. The world is weird, man. The world is weird. Pour one out for my homies who have jobs where they can't work from home. Again, I never want to lose sight of the level of privilege I have, because so many people do it so tough at the moment. And I can see that in a really self-centered way. Like, half a dozen of my favorite venues, restaurants and bars, did not survive COVID. They're permanently closed. And so I go, no, I can't go there anymore. And that just really brings it home. Oh, so many people, their jobs, their livelihoods, their plans, their dreams have been absolutely fucked by COVID. And so I'm very conscious of not losing sight of that. So what do I think about SBC forced vaccinations? I think for a whole range of jobs, vaccination should be a condition of employment, because there are a whole bunch of conditions of employment. Like there's a whole bunch of jobs where you have to wear particular safety gear and do particular things, or you cannot be employed there. There's a bunch of jobs where vaccination should definitely be a condition of employment. Noog, are you seeing my fairy lights as a Christmas thing? See, I'm not seeing them as a Christmas thing. I just like fairy lights. And because I was shooting video for my cocktail channel earlier, I have them as a background for my cocktail channel. But I just like fairy lights. I don't regard them as Christmas things. But I understand where you're coming from. Houston, your job, work from home for a whole year. New job, been working in the office until yesterday, now you're working from home. Who knows how long? Who knows? But it was super funny. About March this year, we started getting under pressure of going back to work, because the Melbourne City Council and the Business Council were really pressuring the state government. All the public servants should go back to work in the city because the city's dying because no one's there. It's like, yeah, capitalism, the system that's so good, you have to coerce people to support it. And a bunch of people going, this is grumble. I don't want to go back to the office. Grumble. But then we just keep having lockdowns. And so it never happened. I've been back in the office maybe half a dozen times in the last 18 months. Fuck it. And it's just like, yeah. Raiders, you notice Bendigo, Collingwood is looking like closing. Used to be great. Oh, damn. Yeah, see, it's fucking tough. And it's not just I think hospitality and the arts have been hit the hardest. But it's not just them. There's a whole bunch of retail outlets that haven't survived and whatnot. And I fucking feel for those people. It fucking sucks. If you've put your all into, this business, and then this bullshit COVID happens and fucks you up, that really sucks. Which does not mean I think the lockdown shouldn't have happened, because they needed to happen. But it just shows how fucking fragile capitalism is, basically, because stuff can just fucking happen. So would I have succeeded in a communist system like the USSR? No, I think I would have been a dissident certainly in Stalin's USSR. I think I would have ended up in a gulag, and they probably would have just fucking shot me. I would not have had a glorious life in the USSR. I don't do that well with authority. So I don't think I would have done well in the USSR. So, all right. So, the review of my new whiskey, the Starward Unexpected. Fucking exceptional whiskey. The name? It's like the whiskey, the name. Oh no, the whiskey, the name. Oh no, the whiskey, the name. Oh dear. Safa, I might have done better under Gorbachev, honestly, because Gorbachev was. But you watch, fucking like, oh God, what was the nuclear thing? Okay, I have had a couple of drinks tonight. Chernobyl. Jesus Christ. You know you've been drinking a little when you can't remember the name of Chernobyl. Chernobyl happened under Gorbachev. So things weren't 100% great under Gorbachev. I think I would have done better under Gorbachev. I would not have done well under Stalin. I would have just got sent to a gulag and fucking shot, I think. Nug, hospitality is triple fucked by COVID. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, God. Nug in the UK, man, I do not envy you. The Tories and Brexit generally, I still worry that in terms of infections and deaths and fucking up people's lives, I worry the next 6 months is going to be worse than the last 18 months. Everyone's going, we've got vaccines. Nah, I'm really worried people are placing too much faith in vaccines. And I'm really worried the next 18 months. No, the next 6 months are going to be worse than the previous 18 months. And I want to be wrong. Again, if someone pulls this video out in a year and things went swimmingly, and they went, you thought things were going to be bad, and they were great, I will say, excellent. I am so fucking happy to be wrong. I just think, fuck. Justin, I think Boris is our PM. I think Morrison is fucking worse than Boris. Boris is a piece of shit. And yes, Noog, excellent point. Vaccine is not a cure. Treatments are as important as a vaccine. Yeah. So, yeah, and yes, after they're having crowds at the UK Premier League, I am super fucking worried the next 6 months in Europe, the Americas, and Asia, the world, basically. Africa, I didn't mention Africa. I worry there are going to be more cases and more deaths in the next 6 months than there were in the last 18 months. I think people are fucking deluding themselves about the vaccines being a cure-all. But we'll see. Who fucking knows? Oh, Grasshopper. Oh, okay. You know what? Fuck it. I've said it's just like Saturday night. I don't know if anyone wants to join in. Grasshopper's obviously on YouTube, and I can't fucking see him. But if anyone wants to join, let's fucking angry bunch it. It's only 9:30. I don't know how long I'm going to hang around, but fucking anyone who's up for it. Oh, and because Grasshopper needs it on Facebook, and I need to fucking manually go into Facebook because Facebook and fucking StreamYard are having issues. And we've never worked out what the problem is with me and Grasshopper and YouTube. Dr. Abigail has jumped in. Wait, what the fuck?
Hello.
There you are. I was wondering, why did you pop up when I clicked the button? What are you drinking?
I'm drinking blood orange gin and soda water.
Fuck yeah. Gin and soda. Lovely beverage.
Mm.
I got a whole bunch of the Cappy sodas.
Yeah.
Dan's tends to have okay. I will always shamelessly promote Australian products. I wish they would sponsor me. I fucking wish they would. I wish a truck would back up my driveway with a crate of their product, but it doesn't. But Cappy makes sodas. Cappy they make tonics, so you can make gin and tonics, etc. They make ginger ale and ginger beer, which are good. They make stuff like they have a blood orange soda, which has sugar and stuff, but they make a couple of sodas that don't have any sugar in them, and they don't even have the artificial sugars. So they're unsweetened. So it's soda water with really light flavors. And the two good, there's a blood orange and sage. And I've got my fridge is full of them because I went to Dan's, and Dan's actually has them. Okay, so I've got Cappy soda, Cappy blood orange and sage, and lemon and basil. So,
is that any good? I think I might have asked you that before.
Yeah, no, they're great.
Sound like it.
They're really lightly flavored, and there's no sweetener in them. There's not sugar.
Oh, apparently there's no link on Facebook.
I fucking put it there.
Yeah. According to StreamYard, you did.
Yeah. Safa, absolutely. Okay, there are two reasons I got the fridge is a lockdown purchase. Two reasons I got it. One is to hold some of my booze accoutrements, and it's mainly the modifiers. It's mainly the sodas and the juices, but it's also got the vermouths in there. The second thing is that is way more energy efficient than the other fridges and freezers I have. So it's actually saving me money on the energy bills. But yes, the fridge is absolutely related to my booze activities. There's another fridge just over there. That's the communal food fridge. There's food in this fridge too. There is some food in this fridge. Nug, Zuck gave the link that sucks. Sorry for cursing the chat. Nug. I don't know. The chat might have already been cursed. I don't know.
I'm trying to, Grasshopper. I just don't use Facebook anymore, so.
Yeah, but I put it in Facebook. I definitely put. I had to do it manually.
Okay, so I'm looking on Facebook and it's not there, as far as I can tell.
Fuck you, Facebook. Okay, I'll try again.
I've just done it.
Oh, you put it in Facebook?
Oh, should I put it as a public comment?
Yeah, put it as a comment in Facebook.
Cool. I've done that. I've done it.
But it's saying, I just went and looked at Facebook and it's saying I fucking put it there.
Okay, I can't see it. So Facebook is being
it's there. I don't know. Facebook.
Can you see the comment?
No, he's here. Look, it must have worked because he's here.
Yeah. No, the Abigail's link worked.
There you go. Fucking worked.
Did you see my link there, Angry?
Yeah, that's the.
All right. So, but it worked. Well, either way,
it worked.
So
the
links are out there. So anyone wants to join us because it's like fucking Saturday night, chill. I gather, Grasshopper, you were going fuck Gladys. I mean, seriously.
Remember that tiny kitten?
Oh my god, that kitten is getting so big.
He's huge. Yeah.
Fucking hell! I was only there I swear to God, a couple of weeks ago. It
was a month and a half ago.
Holy fuck! Oh my god.
Yeah.
So what's your printing in the background there?
I'm printing a For a board game, like the holds all the pieces kind of organizer for a friend.
Oh, the thing that you showed last night.
Yes, just the
Right.
bottom part. And yes, everyone, he's wearing a tie.
Yes, I thought so. Very
I bought him a
nice.
tie. I went to a cat cafe and they were selling cat ties, so I bought him one. And he
Nice.
hated it for like an hour, and
Yes.
now he just like doesn't even know it's there.
Nice.
So, in response to what Safa was saying earlier about whether or not you would have survived in USSR, under Stalin, I don't think anybody would have survived. I think that was the point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, considering that he was somewhat of an evil, killing, dictating bastard. Like, I think some of the things that I've read have actually said that his kill count was higher than Hitler's in World War II. So,
look, it depends how you measure it. He didn't actively. He put a bunch of people in camps and murdered them, but maybe that was 10% of what Hitler did. But the policies of the Soviet caused famines that killed more people.
yeah.
So
It reminds me of the funny thing. What if Facebook existed when World War II was around? And
yes, I love that one. Yes,
got the whole thing going on. And there's that one part where Stalin says, "You don't understand how many Russians there are and how little I care about their lives." It's got that Lord Farquaad feeling of some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It's yeah, and it's the same as the Chinese communists. They definitely put people in camps and murdered them, but maybe 10% of who Hitler put in camps and murdered, but their policies caused famine, which killed so many people. And it's after saying Stalin was a Georgian. Again, it's time for my semi-regular promotion of the Behind the Bastards podcasts. They have a couple of good podcasts about Stalin and what they did. Well worth it. Yes, and Noog brought it up as well. Behind the Bastards did an episode. The guy who tried to teach seeds to grow in cold weather by teaching them. Yes, Behind the Bastards has a couple of good episodes about how fucked the Soviets were. Also,
how do you teach seeds to grow in the cold?
Oh yeah, no, there was absolute weird shit going on in the Soviet Union. But also, Behind the Bastards at Christmas does the positive episode. So their Christmas episodes are often fun. Where he
hang on,
someone
I've got to introduce you. Got to introduce you to the newest member of the family, Kim on.
Oh yes,
it's not a dog, is it?
It is. It is. This is Hot Dog, and she is a miniature Dachshund, and she is an absolute Fruit Loop.
Yes.
Hello, my beautiful girl. Yeah, she has an absolute love affair with me for some reason.
Nice.
But yeah, no, she is absolutely adorable. First dog that I've ever owned that actively does her level best to climb underneath the covers when you're asleep, because she wants to crawl up into your legs and fall asleep there.
Okay.
Which is all fine and dandy, except as you can see right now, she's a bit of a licker.
Yeah.
And when she gets underneath the covers and she gets down to your legs, she decides that your legs need a solidly good doggy cleaning.
That could get awkward.
Oh dear.
Oh yes. No, you can't lick my face. No, you can't. No, I'm sorry, you can't. No. Okay, licking the hand is a little bit weird.
So disgusting. I would never let it touch with me. Dog mouths are just so gross.
Yeah, but I remember there was the joke about, human mouths are more disgusting. Human mouths have more diseases than dog mouths. So from now on, I'm only tongue kissing dogs because.
The funny thing about her is her tail is like a solid little piece of like muscle. It is not a soft, fluffy tail at all. It's a miniature whip, and when she gets really excited, it hits everything. While the butt's going a dime to a dozen, And unfortunately, every now and again, she picks up the corner of a wall and opens her tail up. So there's little bits of our wall that we have to constantly go around and wipe down because there's blood from her tail all over it.
Oh my
So-
god! Oh my god!
I'm actually
yeah.
thinking that I'm going to have to like bubble wrap the corners of my bloody walls and whatnot to stop her from hurting herself.
Oh
But
my
you can
God.
see, just behind me, she's climbing underneath the covers right now.
Yes, yes.
You can see the pillow moving there. Yep, there we go. Yep, no, I'm getting myself all nice and comfortable. She says it's the most adorable thing in the world.
Sorry. I just want to, in the chat, Tassie on Twitch, I want to, you're possibly one of 3 people. You may be my Melbourne friend, Taz. You may be my UK friend, Tassie.
Oh,
Or you may be neither of those people. And just to get my head straight, I'm trying to work out, are you my Melbourne friend, Taz, my UK friend, Tassie, or someone else? Abigail.
I believe Tassie is a friend of someone who's usually in the stream, and I don't remember who. But
Well, Tassie could be.
Megaleech's wife.
Tassie could be
Mega
one
Leech's
of...
wife. Okay.
Oh, yes, you're Mega Leech's wife. You are the 3rd person, Tassie. Thank you. Okay, see, this is... I just needed to get clear in my head who you were. You're Mega Leech's wife. Yes. Okay. Cool. See, now I understand the universe and I feel relaxed. It's good. Right,
Well, I'm the one that's supposed to be understanding the universe and everything in it right now because I'm 42.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So
And there you go.
What? You are not 42.
yes, I am.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Drink.
Kirsten actually knew Tassie
Wow.
was Mega Leech's partner. So
I'm older than you.
Yes, you are, and
Yes.
you look younger than me, and that's why I hate you.
And Safa, yes, thank you for reminding me that I accidentally banned Tassie at one point, and
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks for bringing up that painful memory, Safa.
How did you ban Tassie? What the heck?
Oh, because it's because Shithead was coming in with multiple bogus accounts, and I was banning them.
Oh.
And this one suddenly popped up, going, and I went, no, that sounds sus. Fuck you, you're banned. And the Mega Leech goes, you just banned my wife, and I'm like, whoops.
And then you couldn't figure out how to unban her, so I did.
I actually went and checked out that guy's channel. What in the fuck?
Oh,
Which guy?
The guy that like in one of his videos says that he actually has a legitimate crush on you, Abigail.
Oh, that guy. He's
That guy.
Locust Fucker.
Dude
just
is not connected to reality.
Yeah, no,
He's so fucked.
to say that he's a
and-
couple of fries short of a fucking Happy Meal is that is a gross understatement. Like I watched a few of his videos, like some of them with me in them without my permission, which
Yes.
shits me.
Yeah.
And he questions my education and stuff like that, and I whatever, don't give a shit. But then like he's making legitimate threats against you, Angry. Legitimate fucking threats. And the thing is, I reported the videos to YouTube saying, hey, this guy is making legitimate fucking threats. Haven't heard shit.
No,
Yeah.
me neither. But again, he's just I call him a kid. I have no idea how old he is, but his mental and emotional age is like 12. So whatever his calendar age is, he's a fucking kid. And he is known to police, as the saying goes. Because
really?
Oh no, because multiple police reports have been filed about him. And thanks to friends in the chat, we know his name, we know a place where he definitely lived, probably still lives. We're not 100% sure if this is still his address, but this is his name, and he definitely lived at this address because he's dumb as fuck, and his various postings have made it clear what his real name is and what his actual address is. He probably still lives there. He claims he moved, and I went, no, dude, you're dumb as fuck. And I actually tried to help him, and I said once, like, dude, before I block this other bogus account you've made just to be a dickhead, someone has worked out from one of your videos where you had your camera rolling when you walked out the front door and walked out onto they worked out your exact address. That's bad, okay, man? You need to take that video down. That is bad.
Is it still up?
Oh, I moved. And I went, no, you didn't. You're not fucking bright. You are not.
Is that video still up?
Yeah, you keep acting like you know shit, but you're just not fucking.
Oh,
right.
and not just that, he cherry picks little quotes here and there, and then just gets the whole thing wrong. Like he just has no idea what he's talking about.
Oh yeah, no, he keeps on saying that he's going to disprove this and disprove that and disprove the other, and he never gets to the point that his video is apparently going to have. He just basically spends the entire time saying that Angry's a pussy, or the people that are talking in the stream are idiots, or something else equally as stupid. And just to be clear, I can completely understand and respect somebody having a crush on someone, especially you, Abigail, because you're beautiful. But
if the chat wasn't bad enough, you have to like actually say it.
Sorry, not sorry. But like, it's one thing to there's all of these people that have these, for the most part, harmless crushes on various internet celebrities. That's okay. And making those appreciation videos that some people make, that's a little bit on the creepy side. But to make a video where you're trying to debunk the person that you have a crush on is saying, and then forgetting to actually trying to do the debug and just carrying on about the girl that you've apparently got a crush on for the entire fucking video, and you're just like, okay, there's a few roos fucking loose in your top paddock there, man. Like there's something not right.
I would say to him occasionally, like, do you not get how bad you're making yourself look? Like I don't have to do anything. It's just like anyone just has to look at what you posted and go, what the fuck is
my favorite one is when he did a video about Angry, but in reference to Friendly Geordies, and it was just at the time when Jordan's producer and the lawsuit and the producer got nicked and everything, and he made a video about you mentioning that, and it got 300 views, which is like heaps more than he usually gets. And he said it went, and apparently that's viral. And it's just so pathetic. It's so pathetically embarrassing.
Yeah. It's like when I never went that hard. It's like, well, if the stupid fucker pops his head up, and I went, dude, 3 separate police reports have been filed against you. You are known to police. If you do something stupid and they pull you in, they're going to go, oh, there's some reports filed against these guys. You could be relatively innocent and come to the attention of a cop, and then they just go, oh, there are reports filed against this guy, and you're fucked. So you need to just stop being an idiot. Just stop being an idiot. And it's like, Jesus. But anyway.
Speaking of idiots, Gladys Berejiklian has finally locked down all of New South Wales.
Koala killer.
Speaking of idiots.
She has finally decided that all of New South Wales needs to go into the lockdown, not just little bits and pieces around the place, like everywhere, like she should have done in the first place, And it's absolutely hilarious to me. All of these people that were living like in the outer skirts of New South Wales and all of that sort of stuff, they're all kind of sitting back and pointing and laughing at Sydney a bit, going, sucks to be you. And now they're like, oh, well, shit.
There's
a certain amount of schadenfreude going on.
It's just horrifying how, if like you look at what did we do in Vic when a few cases came up? Strict lockdown. What did we do in South Australia? What did we do in Queensland? Strict lockdowns got it under control. New South Wales fucked it. But on the bright side, Nettie's joining us.
Nettie,
Hi.
hello.
Speaking of beautiful ladies, how you doing, Nettie?
Yeah.
I'm good. How are you, Grasshopper?
Not too bad, thank you, my darling. Not too bad.
You got a puppy. You must be
do.
happy.
Nice. Yeah.
I do. We are taking care of this puppy while its owner has gone to stay at Her Majesty's service for a little while for being a bit of a dickhead.
Oh
And,
no.
Things happen.
Her Majesty's pleasure. Oh no.
Yike.
Oopsie daisy.
Yeah, no, there's that old, incredibly misogynistic but sometimes still relevant saying, never stick your dick in crazy. He did exactly that.
Yeah.
And this is the price he's paying for that.
But I think it goes both ways. Never stick your dick in crazy. Never let crazy stick their dick in you. Never
Exactly.
never let crazy stick their fingers in you. And
Just don't
Just
go near
avoid crazy. Just avoid
Yeah,
crazy.
just avoid-
And this is
avoid the
coming
crazy.
from someone who legitimately was batshit insane for a few years. Like,
Oh, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
over it now, but
Yeah.
like mental illnesses and can do a number on you. And
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
so
My
glad
ex,
those days are
though,
behind me.
I had an ex though who once told me, "Crazy's best in bed."
Oh yeah. No,
Oh,
no.
yeah, yeah.
So I
No
didn't
two
know how
ways
to
about
take
it.
that.
No two ways about it. Because, and that's the problem. People say, like, never stick your dick in crazy or never let crazy stick their dick in you. But it's like, but you go, but the sex is really good. And I say, and that's true because I've been there. That is true. The problem is when the sex stuff isn't happening, the crazy's still there. And it's just
Mhm.
like,
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
actually
no.
referring to someone else who did stab him in the night.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
no.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Wow.
No, it's one of those things. I think
Don't you probably know
everyone.
her?
I think everyone has got the story of the crazy ex. Like everyone has got that story of I
Everyone's
should
got
never
one,
have dated
yeah.
that person. You know,
I
it
have-
was bad.
The crazy ex household, as in
Yes.
one night, 3 a.m, the phone's ringing. You know, back in the old days of landlines, the phone's
The
ringing.
old days when
All
phones
three
were
of us get out of bed, wander to the phone. It stops ringing the moment we get there, and we're all looking around at each other, bleary-eyed. Whose crazy ex was that?
Yeah.
Get to bed.
Oh my god. Okay. Shared house story from my early 20s. There's a terrace house in like Chippendale, Redfern in Sydney, very inner city.
Oh, it would
And-
be.
Hey, I know that suburb.
That's where they
Yeah.
lived.
Yeah. So I'm in this house. It was a terrace. It was a 4-bedroom place. So I had 4 housemates, and so I'm lying in bed with my girlfriend at the time. She was a nurse and she stayed over. We're lying in bed. We had a night together. It was wonderful. And in the wee hours, not that wee, but it was like somewhere before 8 a.m., screaming started in the kitchen. And my bedroom was directly above the kitchen in this terrace. And there was someone screaming and going crazy. And we were lying in bed go, well, that's different, isn't it? And it happened a couple times. And I went, okay, this is the 3rd time the screaming has started. I should check it out, shouldn't I? And my girlfriend's going, yeah, you're pushing me out of the bed going, you should check it out. So I put on some clothes, go downstairs. 2 of my housemates are in the kitchen, 2 of the women I was sharing with. And it became very obvious which of the 2 was doing the screaming because she's sitting on a chair with her knees hunched up to her chin.
Like
and
hugging the
she-
knees. Yep.
Hugging the knees. And the other
Eating.
housemate who's clearly trying to provide some sort of support is going, this is good. And they both just, no one was screaming, but they both just looked at me and I went, cool. So I walked past them to the toilet and took a slash, walked past them again, both just looking at me. And I'm like, cool. Go back upstairs to the bedroom, saying to my girlfriend, well, that was fucking weird. And then the screaming started again. All right.
Oh, Jesus.
And what it turned out, this one housemate who was the one who was having the problems, she was a Kiwi. She had actually been a ballerina. She danced with the New Zealand Ballet. And you know what being a ballerina does? It makes you anorexic.
Yes.
Because the male ballet dancers
It does.
have to be able to lift you over their heads and make it look like there's no effort whatsoever involved. So
Yep.
there's an enormous amount of pressure on ballerinas to be
To weigh as
railed.
little as possible.
Yeah. And anyway, but she was out of and she's living with us, and her boyfriend at one time when she's saying like she was worried about her weight, he was like, "Oh, you should do speed because that's an appetite suppressor."
Oh, what the fuck? That's not a good idea.
So this is a person who was already in a pretty fucked space, and on his advice, she starts doing speed excessively,
Wow.
and so she does not sleep for 2 weeks. And every study in the world shows if you do not sleep, psychosis happens. So she is
Yes.
having amphetamine-induced psychosis. So basically, she would start talking to someone and try to talk to them, and stuff would chain together in her brain. And within about 30 to 60 seconds, she would start screaming. And yes, micro USB, the boyfriend was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So basically, she had a complete breakdown, and she was randomly calling people. And I looked in her bedroom at one point, and you know what creeped me out about her bedroom? It was perfect. We were all these grungy 20-year-olds in a shared house. And because she hadn't been sleeping, she had spent
Everything was
hours
so
tidying her bedroom. And she had fabric because one of her hobbies was making clothes. She had a sewing machine and she had 100 different bolts of fabric, and they were all perfectly arranged in her bedroom.
Wow.
So when I thought something's wrong and I went to check out her bedroom and I expected it to be chaos, it freaked me out even more that it was perfect. And I'm like, oh my God. And so she was convinced, she was listening to Triple J. This was when Maynard was on breakfast radio on Triple J.
I remember him.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
yeah.
she was convinced that the people on the radio, when they were talking, were sending her secret coded messages. So she would try and ring up the radio station and scream at them that she knows. And the poor receptionist at the radio stations are going, "Well, fuck, okay, I think I'll hang up on this."
Yeah, hanging up on that call.
Yeah.
And
That-
thing
oh.
one of the things I saw she did was,
Ah!
oh, that was a bit weird.
Speaking of
was
screaming
sort
women,
that was the
Fucking
sort of stuff
kitten.
that was the sort of
Oh
stuff
my
housemate
God.
did. That was the sort of stuff my housemate did on amphetamine
Yeah.
psychosis.
The kitten is bored. Ow! Get away. Go away.
The kitten was
Oh.
fucking Abigail.
That's
Oh
why
my
we
God.
call
I
Zorro
think-
Zorro.
I think Abigail just got clawed or bitten or both.
I think
Yes.
so. I think so. Oh my God. There's the kitten.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
He's
One
bored.
thing the psychotic housemate did while I was watching is, oh, there's another kitty. Nice. She got on the phone and she called because she wanted to talk to her ex-boyfriend to
Ow!
explain
Really?
something to him. And her
Ow.
her ex-boyfriend's name was Terry. And for those who don't know, in the UK, and New Zealand is very heavily influenced by the UK, sometimes the nickname for someone called Terry is Tell, Tell.
Yep.
And her ex-boyfriend Terry's nickname was Tell. So she called up her ex-boyfriend, and his current girlfriend answered, and it started off like, "Hi, I just want to talk to Tell." And she's like, "Who's this?" "Oh, it's blah blah blah. I just need to talk to him." And she's going, "What do you want to talk to him about?" And basically, my housemate held it together for about 30 seconds, and then just started screaming down the phone. And I watched her do this, and "I need to talk to Tell." And the current girlfriend went, "Yeah, you're fucked up," and hung up. And I thought, okay, that was weird. Why is she fixated on Tell? And she left the house, and I saw there was a magazine. Kids, back in the day, the internet was called magazines. We
Yes.
didn't look at it on computers. articles were printed, and she had a magazine and was sitting by the phone, and she'd underlined heaps of shit in this article, and the word tell was in one sentence, as in I am going to tell you something, and she'd circled the word tell about 100 times.
Damn.
The magazine was sending her a secret message that she had to call her ex-boyfriend, and I was like, okay, I think my housemate has a problem.
That housemaid needs some professional help.
And what happened, because she was a Kiwi, she called her parents in New Zealand and screamed at them for 15 minutes and saying, but I don't know if this was real or not, but she was talking about sexual abuse and stuff. But basically, she screamed at her parents, which told her parents she was having very bad problems. Her dad actually flew in from New Zealand, grabbed her, and dragged her to a hospital and had her sectioned, which honestly was the right thing to do. It was
I'll be back in a second. I'll be back in a second. I have to deal with this kitten.
Yeah, Abigail's
and probably put some stitches in your leg by the sounds of things.
Yeah.
No, see, like when I live with housemates, like I've lived in a few share houses in my life, and sometimes like some of the experiences that we had was fantastic. Like at the last share house was when you could start buying smaller projectors for your home to watch TV on the wall and all of that sort of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And
that'd be cool.
yeah, we set one up in the empty room, displaying against the back wall, and we're all sitting in there all night drinking and playing Mario Kart on the projector. And it was an absolutely fantastic night. Lots of laughs. It was a great time. But at that same household, one of the housemates, she was dating a guy who no one at the house liked.
That's always bad. That's always
Oh
bad.
yeah, and like for good reason. To be clear, he was a piece of shit.
For a good reason. Yeah.
And you know, he never got physical with her before we disliked him. It was just the way that he treated her that we saw that there was that potential.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times. Yep.
Yeah. And so fast forward about 3, maybe 4 or 5 nights after we sat around playing Mario Kart all night.
Yeah.
And I think Abigail is getting some pots and pans to strap around her legs.
The cat's going to investigate.
Costello thing happening. What the hell is
I don't know. It sounds like she's in a wrestling match in the kitchen. Like,
oh my god! Sorry. Okay. I also just want to throw in my USB. Feels lost. Okay. When we say shared household, that's when it's a rental accommodation, and people who don't necessarily know each other before they move in kind of advertise and go, shared house, we have a room. Normally it starts off with people who know each other, then someone moves out, and so
and a random moves in, and yep.
So at a certain point you get all the different people in a rental accommodation who never knew each other at all before they moved in.
They don't even have their names on the lease.
Yeah, so you end up not having your name on the lease. That's what a shared house is. That's shared house.
No, well, so fast forward 4 or 5 nights after the Mario Kart night has gone by, and Dickhead's decided to come over to visit his girlfriend, and we couldn't say no because her name was actually on the lease, so we didn't really have that power to go no. And so there were a few of us. We were in the living room. We were playing a game of D&D in the living room. And Dickhead's arrived.
Yeah.
Met up with his girlfriend, made some kind of snarky remark about us playing D&D, and we all just kind of shrugged it off and went whatever, Dickhead, and just kind of went back to what we were doing. And about an hour later, we hear a very loud and very audible thump in her bedroom.
Oof.
And we were like, whoa, that's not good type thing, you know, as you do. And we were like, you know, hey, do we need to, go and check this out? Like, is this something bad? And we were kind of like, maybe somebody tripped, maybe something fell off the bedside table, whatever. Like, let's not think about it, But then when we heard another thump followed by a scream, that's when we paid attention.
Oh.
Shit, yes.
And when we've gone in there, he's standing over her. I won't go through the details just in case she ever sees this.
Yeah, it could be traumatizing and triggering, yes.
Exactly. So we open up the door, see him, see her, see what's left of the room. We're just like, nope, that's it. Doesn't matter now. He's gone. And it was 4 of us and him. So he didn't stand a chance. And the 4 of us basically just manhandled him straight out the front and thrown him off the front porch, basically. We're like, fuck off, don't come back. And he decides that he's going to come back with a carload of his mates about 2 hours later.
Yeah.
Right.
Shit.
So this ends up getting the cops called, and it turns into this whole fucking saga that goes for the greater majority of that night. And it was absolutely fucked. Like, when it was all said and finished, there were hard feelings, there were bad words, there was uncomfortableness and anger and all of those. And as a result, the situation just became untenable, and everybody ended up moving out not long after that. So share housing is one of those things. You can have some absolutely fantastic times, but then you can have times like one of your housemates going through drug-induced psychosis, or one of your housemates is dating a fucking psychopath, or something along those lines. And everything goes from bad to worse.
Yeah. Or as I've mentioned on previous streams, I had one shared house, and this was actually the same shared house where the housemate had that psychotic episode. That house, I ended up being the only person in the house who wasn't on heroin. So I was like, okay, I'm moving.
There was a house in Chippendale when I was living inner west with one of my exes, and I was just enthralled with this house. It was always holding really great parties and all that shit. And
just watch him dive with falafel in his hand, and you will know what a shared house is.
that is very true.
It's a good book, and it's a good movie. It is.
We should write a sequel.
It is. We should. I think we all have stories. Yeah.
Anyway, this house was always having great parties up until the mosh pit on the 2nd story fell through.
Oh no!
The 2nd story collapsed.
Oh wow!
No. It's
Chippendale.
Mosh pit, dumbasses.
Oh no!
Apparently, like the carpet. It seems that the carpet was the stronger part of the structure there.
Okay, so Abigail's now come back with a saucepan of some type of liquid by the looks of things.
Yeah.
So
honestly, I 50% expected the cat to come back and just sit in the stream going, "Yes, well, I sorted."
When the headphones come on, I get to ask the first question.
Yeah, no, you're first to ask. Okay.
Yep.
I got my little cat. Here he is.
Welcome back, Abigail. So, Abigail, how many cats were you in a wrestling match with in the kitchen just then?
I was doing other stuff in the kitchen.
Oh, we were just
because
hearing
it sounded like you were in a wrestling match with like several people.
Could you hear me?
Yeah,
clearly.
This is supposed to
mute.
mute.
Abbott and Costello thing. Yeah, it was great.
Oh, okay. No, I was preparing.
It was very funny.
Okay. I thought I muted it because when I flip my mic up, it mutes. But
no, we heard a whole bunch of saucepans clashing. It basically sounded extremely funny.
We thought the cat had come into the kitchen to start trying to murder you while you were in there, and you were trying to defend yourself with pots and pans. Micro USB. It sounded like she was being kidnapped and robbed.
No, I thought while I was up, I would prepare some malted rye grains for soaking.
Nice.
Inoculating for another batch of mushrooms.
I was about to say,
so it is witchcraft.
Thing that we don't want to be legally held liable for. But yes, mushrooms definitely. And it's just if Abigail or I or anyone ever mentions mushrooms at Abigail's place,
they're oyster mushrooms.
we are literally just talking about like carbonara Alfredo, something like that.
Yeah, like
that's what we're talking about. Nothing worse. Okay, and legally,
oyster.
you can't prove that it's anything else.
Growing mushrooms is not a crime. Growing
No.
psilocybin-filled mushrooms is, and I would never do that. I've got too much to lose.
I am absolutely never admitting ever that we're talking about psilocybin. I'm never admitting that.
I've read a couple of stories. They feel very much like folklore, but it definitely sounds like as if it could be very, very true, of people who have been out in the forest and they've seen mushrooms on the floor and they're like, hey, they look like the kind of mushrooms, if you eat them, you're going to hallucinate. Let's pick these mushrooms. And they take them home and they go through the process of what you're supposed to do with them, and then they eat them and promptly die because they're the extremely toxic type of mushrooms that will kill you.
Yeah.
You've got to know.
But picking mushrooms, that's it's a rite of passage, something that you have to survive.
Yeah.
You know?
Always identify.
You don't deserve to be 30 unless you've done it.
I haven't done it.
No, but you also.
I had my ex-husband do it.
Yeah.
I did a thing where you could actually go out to a mushroom farm, and you could go through and pick mushrooms at the mushroom farm as a, this is what mushrooms are supposed to look like, and these ones are edible and these ones aren't, and so on and so forth.
Cool.
Did that thing. That was cool. Yeah, like my wife didn't like mushrooms until her and I started dating, and I started preparing them for her, and then she recognized that mushrooms can in fact be fucking delicious.
I fucking love mushrooms. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, here.
I don't like the texture of mushrooms, and the taste doesn't really do anything for me either.
That's okay.
But I like the concept of mushrooms. Mushrooms are a good meat substitute for.
Yeah,
they are. Yeah.
Taste is a personal thing. That's okay.
It is.
Yes.
No, look, I mean, I love getting those gigantic mushrooms and making mushroom steaks out of them.
Oh my god! I
yeah.
love stuffed mushrooms. Getting a big fuck off mushroom and carving out the middle, and then cooking something up and filling it and covering it in cheese and baking stuffed mushrooms baked in the oven. I fucking love that.
Oh yeah, shit yeah. No, there's nothing quite like a good mushroom steak or a good stuffed mushroom or something like that. I mean, for me, mushrooms are very much a breakfast thing. Mushrooms on toast that I've sauteed with some garlic and some butter and just on toast, and ooh. And as you can tell, I have entirely too much butter because I have that horrible double chin going on. But yeah, no, it is delicious nonetheless. But
oh god,
my dad's. Sorry, my dad's ex.
Yeah, go. No, you go, Grasshopper.
Okay, my dad's ex. It is proof positive that my father had the patience of a saint, because he never killed me, my brother, or his ex. But more than that, that lady, she didn't cook food. She ruined it and served it. It was the worst. Her idea of cooking veggies. This is true. Her idea of cooking veggies was to go to Woolies to get a frozen pack of whatever, and to be clear, frozen veggies perfectly fine. Okay, they taste great. This whole idea they need to be fresh veggies, bugger off with that shit. Frozen veggies are perfectly fine.
Frozen works.
And she would get the water up to boil. She would drop all of the veggies into that water and then go off and do everything else that she was doing, leaving them to boil the entire fucking time over
that's
a
English,
rapid
apparently.
heat.
Yeah,
apparently it's the English who really boil the living anything out of it.
You would have gotten more nutritional value from drinking the water that was left over than the mush that she would serve afterwards.
Yes, no, that's actually a really good point. All the nutrients.
Yeah, so
water.
I don't like cooked vegetables. I prefer fresh vegetables, eaten not cooked. If I use frozen veggies, it's probably for something else. Like I don't mind having frozen veggies and using them for cooking, but if I want to eat them like just as they are, I just have them fresh. But my mother always insisted on boiling the shit out of them, and I couldn't stand it, hated it, told her I hated it, and like she just didn't understand the concept of not wanting to eat something cooked. So it got to the point where she would only cook them a little bit. And then I told her, please, just don't. It's less effort for you. Just put them on my plate. And she would like put them in the boiling water for like 5 seconds. Like, why would you? Why? She couldn't not do it.
Mindset.
Well, I mean, back in
Johnny's still joining us.
Hey, we got Johnny with us.
Hello.
How you doing,
I was
Johnny?
going to share the link because as soon as I saw you in the chat, Johnny, you're usually keen to join us, but you went and found the link. So nice to see you, brother.
Yeah, found it. Abigail, I share your pain. Mum also boils vegetables, and they're just falling off the fork. And it's getting to the stage where I'm thinking I have to cook my own food.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story. When we first got Jack, our dog, and he was a tiny little puppy, one of my dad's friends came up. They lived down in Young, and they were traveling up to Queensland, and they stopped in here to stay overnight before they continued their trip. And my dad's ex, being the lady of the house that she was, she decided that she was going to cook everyone dinner, except for me and my wife, because her and my wife did not get along. It was a whole thing.
Wow,
and my wife and I were basically forced to cook for ourselves, and my wife and I were like, "Oh dear, whatever shall we do?" So
your cooking sucks. Yeah.
So my computer was out in the garage at the time, and I'm out on my computer when everybody's in, and Dad's ex has cooked up like all of these veggies, and they used to go to the RSL to the meat raffles. And you know, they would win those meat platters.
I fucking love a meat tray. A meat tray.
I don't get it.
Meat tray's got me through many an unemployment phase.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
That
meat
is
trays.
one of my life goals. Like my bucket list is to win a meat tray.
Yeah, oh yeah. And some of the cuts of steak that they have on those meat trays are fucking beautiful. But she, like, again, I state, she didn't cook food. She ruined it and served it. Like, this particular meat tray had two gigantic, beautiful, juicy rump steaks. Sorry, Abigail, I know you're a vegetarian. And sorry to anybody else that's listening that's a vegetarian or a vegan. But two gigantic, gorgeous rump steaks. And she had that, you know those George Foreman grills?
Yep.
She had one of those. So she's pulled these two rump steaks out, and she's gotten out the tenderizing hammer and beat them to fucking death from like this thick to this thick and laid right out. She then put it on the George Foreman grill, closed the grill, and promptly turned them to leather. And served them
when
with...
you beat it really thin, you can cook it in literally 10 seconds. I fucking love beating... Okay, this...
I saw where that was going.
Sounds bad. B, going to be...
You like beating your meat?
Yes.
Angry. Angry, I was about to back you up on that statement you were about to say.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say, Angry, is wait for the after party for that, okay?
Oh, yeah. I think Micro USB wants to join us. I just put the link in there. But yeah, no, it is, whether it's, I particularly love doing it with chicken, but you can do it with other meats.
Yeah, absolutely.
You beat it till it's really thin, and then you can cook it in like 5 fucking seconds.
No, well,
you put
I mean,
it on
with
a hot
chicken,
plate, sear it, flip it, and it's like, bam!
Yeah, with chicken, you do that to make chicken schnitzels. Yes. Make them nice and flat and thin for making chicken schnitzels at home and stuff like that. Absolutely.
I love it when you go to a pub where their chicken schnitzel, because they've beaten it out, it's this fucking
It's
big.
The size of the plate,
it's so big. The entire plate is, and it's because they've beaten it out and made it flat, because chickens aren't that big, but they've made a chicken schnitzel that's this big because they're flat. I fucking love it.
Yeah, I always thought.
Anyway, just to finish off the story. So she's ruined this entire meat platter. Sausages, steaks, all of it got ruined. she's served up this mash of what's left over of the vegetables that she had boiling for God knows how long, with a mixture of normal and sweet potato mashed together type thing, that also had no taste because she didn't believe in things like salt and pepper.
Oh, seasoning. Yes.
You know.
Okay.
Yep.
So there's my dad's friend, his partner, their good friend that was in the back of the car with them, and my brother at the table. I'm out in the garage. My dog had stayed inside. Now he's a tiny little puppy at this point. He's less than a year old. Okay, so he's tiny little puppy. And my dad's mate comes out into the garage, and he kind of looks behind him to make sure that Beverly hasn't followed. My dad's ex hasn't followed him. And he's like, dude, you're not going to need to feed your dog for a month. What's happened? He was like, everybody was like, under the table. The best part is, when they've all come out and they've all had their post-dinner cigarette, I've decided it's time for me to go inside and make my dinner. As I've come inside, there's Jack looking happy as a clam. He's got the big fat belly going on that the little puppy gets when they've overeaten, but he's ever so happy with himself. But then I have a look underneath the table, and there is just bits of food everywhere, of these bits of sausages and steak and everything that they give to the dog. The dog's taken 2 bites of it, gone, nah, not even good enough for me. Where's the next?
Oh my god! Oh
Man,
my god! Oh Jesus! By the way, my freezer martini, fucking awesome. So if we're ever out of lockdown, if I can get Nettie and Abigail over to actually be here for a live stream again, my fucking freezer martini kicks all kinds of ass, is all I'm saying.
You know what? I'm not a drinker, but if I ever get my ass down to Melbourne to meet you, Angry, I want a freezer martini.
Oh, dude, we are going to... Oh, Micro USB's joining us.
Hey!
Hey, Micro.
Hello.
How you doing, man?
I'm all right. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you, dude.
I just made a super huge assumption that you were, in fact, a dude. Sounds like you're a dude. And if I'm wrong, I'm just going to go and sit in the corner for a while. So
don't assume my gender. It's 2021.
I know. I just realized the vibe I didn't get from you was dude vibe. And if I was wrong, I was just going to take my freezer martini, sit in the corner, and think about what I'd done wrong. So it's like, yeah.
Most of my female friends actually love the fact that I still call them dude. Like, for me, it is a truly gender neutral term, but only amongst my friends.
But also, Grasshopper, you being bisexual, you get away with it. Like whenever I talk to straight dudes who say, dude's non-gender specific, and I said, do you fuck dudes? Okay, if you don't fuck dudes, it's not gender non-specific.
No, I mean, that's the thing. I'll walk into a room full of girls and go, so how are my boys doing today? And they all kind of look at me and just go, really well, actually, because we're not boys. That's the best part about us. You know.
I'm not fucking joking, Grasshopper. If you get to Melbourne and we're able to go out to venues and stuff, shit's gonna happen. All I'm gonna say is shit's probably gonna happen. And again, I'm just imagining me, you, Abigail, Nettie, anyone else who's in Melbourne, Stella,
AZ.
And it's kind of like the rest of the venue will be looking at us going, what in the ever-loving fuck is going on?
The funniest...
and we will just be going, fuck y'all.
Well, you see, the funniest thing is we'd actually have to rent like a small bus or something and me be the designated driver because I don't drink.
Yeah, no, but there's a couple of venues. We could just rent a room. We could just rent a room in the venue.
I'm just doing this for Fox.
Oh, that's for Fox. Yeah, no. Fox got both Nettie and myself onto the Lux Brew stuff, which is okay. Also, the Starwood peated thing. It's fucking great. I've had it by itself. I made an old fashioned. I made a Manhattan. This is a very very good whiskey. This is a very good whiskey.
So, Micro, I'm hearing an accent there. Are we an expat, or are we still actively in America, man?
I'm still in America. I'll never leave. It's expensive to go anywhere. It's too expensive to just get out of the state.
Sorry, we didn't catch all of that, mate. Say that again.
Sorry, I had my microphone up, so I wasn't breathing into the microphone. So
You're right, man.
it's
Yeah.
I'm probably never gonna leave. It's hard to even. It's too expensive. Like, where am I gonna fly to? I could go to Canada, but that's it's like Mexico is a no go for sure. It's just
I've
it's
got
like
so many American friends who've immigrated here to Australia.
Same.
Yeah, you come to Australia and you'll just
I was actually-
live off the exchange rate for a couple of years, and you'll have a great time.
So good. Yeah.
I was talking to this guy. He lives in New Zealand, and he was like, he told me that too. He's like, you should come here. And he's like, but in order to go there, you basically have to not be useless. You have to have a usable skill that's useful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, customer service isn't really a skill that countries are trying to get people.
Dude, okay, Mike against me. You are a friend of the stream, so we are all collectively going to fucking front for you. If you wanna emigrate to Australia, the rest of us are gonna fucking front for you and go, yeah, Peter Dutton, let this guy in.
So what part of the States are you from, Micro?
I'm in New York.
Oh, okay.
You're in New York, cool.
Yeah,
New York
not the
State.
city, not
He
the
mentioned-
city.
New York State.
He mentioned that
Yeah,
before.
state, not the
It's
city.
got the
I've
old
been to the
legalized
city.
weed.
So how
I've heard.
what's the population of the city you live in, USB?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah, okay.
I can tell you about where I live. I live by Albany, which is the capital.
Okay, yep, you're near Albany. Okay. But
Yep.
also, my friend, I fucking love that you just gone, I don't give a shit about anyone else. Fuck them. It's just like...
No, I spent a little bit of time in Manhattan many years ago, and they're right when they say it's the city that never sleeps. But man, I was happy to get the fuck out of there. It's just too much.
I went through there, and I was like, what about this place is magical? It's disgusting. It's crowded. I didn't like it at all. I hated it. I had to go through the Port Authority, which is a bus depot, and it was like the worst experience of my life. I don't recommend anyone go there ever.
Yes.
Oh.
Apparently, the New York Port Authority is fucking terrible.
It's terrible. It's literally the bottom of it is where all the buses are, and the top of it is like a mall, and it's full of like little kiosks and homeless people.
Oh,
And they wait on the stairs and by the signs, because what they do is they look for people that don't know where they're going, and they're like, where you going? Oh, there. It's you go here and then you go there, and that's where you'll find it. You got $2, and they do that to get their monny.
well, I mean,
Am I
look,
right?
it's
That's
one
better
thing.
than the gauntlet at Repton.
It's one
I
thing.
just remember
It's one thing to scalp for tips when you're homeless. Like, I'm all for that. At least they try to do something constructive. But in Sydney, like, when you've got people that are coming up trying to bludge a couple of bucks off you, it's never about trying to help you out. It's always they've always got the Works of War and Peace sob story about how bad everything's been going for them recently, and they need to get a couple of bucks to go and see their dying mum or something.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You pay for a story.
Yes,
You
I
pay
will
for a story.
occasionally give some money to someone, and what I have learned, and I honestly don't hold this against people who are in a difficult situation. But when you give some money to someone, they go, "Oh, this is the sucker. Now I'm going to hit them up for some more money," and it's like, okay. So I've had this multiple times. In person, like where someone's physically gone, oh, I went to the supermarket and I didn't have any money, and I give them a couple dollars, and they go, oh, could you give me a couple more dollars for this? And I went, oh, now you think I'm a sucker, okay? And it's like, I don't know,
Yeah.
to a degree,
It reminds me of.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'd give Grasshopper a few dollars, even if he didn't give me a hand job. So,
Look, you still owe me a few dollars from the last one, Angry. Go ahead.
I actually owe Grasshopper a few dollars.
Oh! Speaking of which, and I don't know why my webcam. Speaking of like
jobs,
payment for sexual favors, my son keeps asking for me to get his hoodie back from your place. Guys.
Oh, I keep on forgetting about that. Yeah,
because we went up in Easter.
Yeah, when her and her son came up, he left his hoodie here. It's folded and in my drawer. Number one, right now, I'm not allowed to travel to the post office because it's too far away. That's an honest thing.
Hang on. Angry is like calming down after referencing sexual favors and then segueing to my son.
Thank you, Abigail, for recognizing that.
Look, he did spend an enormous amount of time being out on the driveway talking to his girlfriend on the phone. So
no, that has nothing to do with my house. I am and I'm going, what the fuck? Where is this going? But it's all down to Grasshopper. So I'm like, I'm cool with everything doing on Grasshopper.
No, the closest post office to me is outside of the 5 kilometer range. So I'm actually not allowed to go there. So when that calms down, because I did actually call and ask, because I've actually got a few things here for my clients that I need to send out.
Yeah.
And I called up and I'm like, am I allowed to go to the post office? And they're like, nope, you're not allowed to at all. Nope, stay at home.
Wow. Even for business?
Yeah, even for business. If I need to get something out, I need to organize it by courier right now.
Oh god damn.
Wow.
As much as I love you to tears, Abigail, I don't have the money to send a hoodie down to Melbourne via courier.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough.
It's fucking this arrived today on a Saturday. And I was super surprised. So I was taking some stuff out to the bin, and I was like, okay, I'm sure. And I opened my front door, and this was in a box sitting outside of my front door, and I'm like, fucking yeah. Also, okay, so I've drunk this neat. I've done it in an old fashioned, and I've done it in a Manhattan. This is a really good whiskey. I'm just throwing it out there. This is a really good whiskey. I
require a taste test.
Yes,
I require.
Abigail, literally,
just to be thorough.
We are not locked down. As soon as we are allowed to have people in our house.
Justin Underwood is apparently in the lobby waiting to come in.
Is he? Justin, hello.
Hello.
It's like a party now.
Brother?
Is he? Yeah, I'm here.
How you doing, Justin?
Good.
That's good. Yeah. Sorry, I just every now and again I go in and check the YouTube comments, and just saw you're there. So sorry about that, mate.
Oh God, Justin, your background looks literally the same as my fucking kitchen where I am.
I have a friend. I have a friend who's a drag king, and her drag king name is Justin Cider.
Oh,
and all drag king names are puns. So
yes,
well, it's like that old joke. What do you call a bunch of lesbians locked in a cabinet? It's a liquor cabinet.
Every time I go past Liquorland,
Grasshopper, you naughty boy.
Oh, you have no idea, Johnny, my darling. No idea at all.
I know. Grasshopper, he is my special naughty boy. He's my
Angry, I never call anybody else this, but yes, Daddy.
Yes,
although,
I know.
I must say you are the extra naughty boy for me tonight, because I'm trying to quit smoking. So every time that you light up a cigarette, I'm like, ah. But I managed. I got myself drunk, so I can't drive and get cigarettes. And
Okay. That works.
One of that
and
makes you want to smoke more.
I'm on the nicotine gum, and so far I haven't gone completely insane.
No, I'm getting another script for Champex to give that a shot when this whole lockdown malarkey calms down a little bit.
Oh,
'Cause
you're braver than me then, because I've heard that can mess people up mentally, and I'm already mentally messed up enough. So
the last time that I was taking Champix, it was working a treat, but it gave me weird fucking dreams, like really fucking out there weird fucking dreams. The one that I will never forget is that I had a dream where me and a bunch of other people were having a round discussion while in blackface makeup. I have no idea where the fuck that came from.
Wow.
No, we were all sitting around in blackface makeup having a roundtable discussion about, I don't even remember what the topic was. But I do remember waking up and going, I have never in my life done a blackface. What the fuck? Like, it's not even something that I've ever even considered. Even before we knew that it was a bad idea to do it, like when I was a kid, going out to special dress-up parties and stuff like that, there was all of these people that were doing all sorts of different things to blacken their skin to go as various things, and I'm like, nope, just nope.
yeah.
And it sounds wildly racist to say it as an adult, but it's what I thought as a kid. It was, I'm white. I'm good with being white. Why do I want to be a different color? No, I'm white.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, and I don't want to completely bury myself, but I've mentioned it before. Year 12 muck up day. I literally dressed up as. I love the fact that Abigail laughed because she remembered. But
I've heard this so many times.
Day, I literally dressed up as Hitler. This is me. Because when you're in country New South Wales, being Hitler's funny, and it's like, no, dude, it's not.
So I constantly, Will has those mannequins that you can pose for art.
Yeah.
For drawing.
Oh, yes,
he has one, and I'm constant. It's only like this tall, like that tall, right? But I'm constantly finding it on his windowsill, giving a hail.
A Roman salute.
A Roman salute. Yeah, constantly. And he thinks it's funny. And I'm like, no, it's actually not that funny.
The asterisk thing I'm saying, when you're a teenager, you just think pissing people off is funny. When the olds get angry at you, you go, ha ha, you're old.
It worked.
You're only pissed off because you're old, and that's why we fucking did the thing. And I swear, there's probably I don't have any if I had the photos, I'd share them. But photos probably exist, but I don't have them of me dressed in like all black pants, black shirt with a swastika armband and a Hitler mustache posed on my lip and no.
In today's climate, it's probably better that they are like hidden forever.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
oh my god.
Going back to earlier about the whole share house thing.
Yes, John.
Oh yeah, yep.
So I lived in a share house with basically like a lot of my best friends, and it was like some of the best time of my life. And one of the greatest things about it was the owner of the house was one of the people that lived there. It was his parents, so we could do whatever we wanted to, basically.
Yeah.
And when that story you were saying about your friend that you were living with that went a bit crazy.
Yes.
I was the one that went crazy in the house.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't actually do it in the house. I did it at my job at the service station.
Oh no, losing it at your job is bad, dude.
Yes, put it this way. I ended up bringing up my manager and saying, tallying up the numbers of the till of the night I could not do. It did not make sense to me anymore,
Yeah.
and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And after that, I went to my mum's place, and I ended up going up. She was about to go up to Queensland for a holiday, and she got a ticket for me very quickly.
Shit.
And we went up to Queensland, and I was still off my face for the whole time, and I destroyed her holiday.
That's
Came back down, and I ended up in the psych ward.
Oh shit.
When we got back home, and then afterwards, I moved back into mum's place where I still am, and then my friend's parents, they decided to sell this place that I was living at, and I thought, I'll go and help them clean up some of the rooms and all this kind of stuff. And Chris, the guy that his parents own this place, he likes to collect propaganda, shall we say.
Oh shit.
So
Okay.
on the kitchen wall, he had a bit of the old Third Reich propaganda.
Oh, no.
Fuck. Oh my fuck.
Yeah.
And and I've just gone to his mum. Surely the propaganda wall will add to the price of this. It will surely heighten the price of this property, just as the real estate agents are coming into the house. And Chris says to his mum, "Oh no, I covered the swastikas with pictures of Dresden being bombed out."
Oh shit. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Frying pan fire definitely comes to
I have some
mind.
stories. Jesus Christ, Johnny. What
Wow.
the fuck? Jesus.
Yeah. I live with interesting people. He also had quite a few pages of Time Cube printed out onto the wall.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know about Time Cube.
I can't say that I do.
Tell us about Time Cube, man.
Oh, it's basically this guy who he's a bit insane, and basically time is not linear, it's like a cubed thing, and I just typing Time Cubed into YouTube and have a watch and for an afternoon, and there's a few good videos on it. I think what's his name? Frederick Knudsen. If you've ever come across him,
The name sounds familiar.
he does a lot of really good documentaries. He did a good one about Time Cube, and it's basically
sounds just weird.
Yeah.
Very fucking weird.
It is very weird. Anyway.
And also, Johnny, thank you for sharing us. Yeah, you're sharing weird, fucked up shit, and I am
all for it.
absolutely on board. I'm all for it. Yeah.
Hey, well, that's what I'm here for, because I'm not going anywhere else, and I've been drinking, and I've been drinking, so I can't go and buy cigarettes. So yeah.
What a great way to stop smoking. I'm all for it.
God. Oh my god. It's just, this is turning, I don't know. This was like this is kind of a normal stream an hour ago, and now I'm embracing the madness. At this point, we have crossed the Rubicon.
Too bad AZ isn't here.
I also talk.
Oh my god, Justin! If AZ was here, we would be going through the looking glass. We would be going through the singularity into some super fucking weird. And I'm resisting the temptation to text AZ and saying, dude, we are talking about the most weird, fucked up shit. You should be part of it.
Yeah, but the problem
I
is
think he's probably asleep. I
AZ
think
would
he's
come in and
probably
tell.
asleep.
Yeah, but he'd come in and tell us one of the stories, and he'd go on a 4.5 hour tangent before he got to his point.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
AD was just talking. AD would we're on one level, and AD would just be going on. People who have given me a hand job, and it was like, I'm like, dude, I'm absolutely on board to hear about people who've given you a hand job over the last 2 decades, but I don't know.
But also, earlier today, I was talking to a friend of mine that I haven't talked to for quite a while, and I mentioned that every now and then I came onto the Angry Aussie
Hang on just 1 second.
show and talked and stuff. So he may actually be watching and has heard all this stuff.
Yes, and I'm on board. And this is why I love everyone coming on, because we might be connecting with people. We might be bringing up fucking weird shit. Time cubes, yes. Nettie had to disappear. One of her kids is feeling sick, which I understand.
Oh no.
Oh, that's no good.
I hope she's okay.
I hope that too. Safa, you are probably right. AZ is probably sleeping. The fact I haven't heard from him, it's kind of weird to say when I say, "Oh, the fact that I haven't heard from AZ," I take that as a positive. I think he's asleep because the motherfucker needs to sleep. The motherfucker needs to sleep.
Hey, how many syllables are there in positive?
Okay, Abigail.
No, the first share house that I lived in, one of the guys that we lived there with, he was one of those guys that was notorious for picking things up from the side of the road and bringing them home. You know, and sometimes it was infuriating, sometimes it was kind of funny. Sometimes he'd pick it up, he'd bring it home, and then he'd go,
get some more water.
no worries.
Yeah.
He'd pick it up, he'd bring it over, and he'd go, oh, wait a minute, this is actually still rubbish, and then fill our bin up with that rubbish. That used to drive us nuts. But he found this old computer on the side of the road, like an old, like horizontal white boxed style computer on the side of the road. And he's brought that home with the gigantic fuck off CRT monitor that came with it. The CRT monitor was a 27-inch CRT. It was a fracking monster and weighed a ton.
I had a 19 that was big enough and heavy enough.
I had two 15-inch CRT monitors and I was thrilled. But no,
I'm with you. Fuck.
Yeah, we lived up the top floor, so he's lugged this fucking monitor all the way up to the top in order to find out if this PC worked. And when he's turned it on, sure enough, it worked. The monitor even worked. And it was Windows 3.1 on this thing. And to be clear, Windows Vista had just hit the market at this point.
Yeah.
Right? This thing's rocking Windows 3.1. There's no other data on the hard drive. There's nothing nefarious about it. It's just this clean install of Windows 3.1. And he's decided, hey, we can't get rid of that. So he set up the clock on that to be the screensaver. And for the entire time that I was living there, there was this gigantic 24-inch CRT sitting in the corner of the living room where the rest of the lights are turned off with the time just bouncing all over the screen all of the time to let you know what time it was. And it was just the most amazing thing.
You could probably make a clock that looked exactly like that and sell them. I really feel like that would sell really well. I feel like people would buy that.
You'd only need an Arduino to do it as well, not a whole PC.
Yeah, absolutely. You could do it on a Raspberry Pi or something, absolutely.
A Raspberry Pi would be overkill for something like that, I reckon. But yeah, you could.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Sorry,
I've just got
trying
to do a quick remote access into one of my clients' PCs to
Is
fix
that
their
what you
video
call
card
it?
driver.
Remote access.
Just got to fix their video card driver.
That
So
doesn't
I'll be
sound
right back.
dodgy at all.
Yeah.
So I just put in the private chat and also the other main
Yes.
chat for the Angry Aussie of that Frederick Knudsen thing about Time Cube. If anyone's interested.
I am so interested.
I literally just clicked on it and it was weird and fucked up, and I was like, okay.
Yes.
I'm not in a state to deal with it now, but
you should probably be sober and have your full attention towards it because it is quite involved.
I'm not sober. I am absolutely not sober. You know, Fox of Fate saying, "Angry, go home. You're drunk." Yes, I should go home.
But I'm already home.
Drunk, but also, I'm home, so it's good. It's fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I am so fucking hammered. Jesus.
I'm not sure if you guys heard about this, but there was a couple of weird racial things that have happened recently.
Yeah.
So, in the US, at a baseball game, there was a black guy went up to go to take his shot at having a swing at the bat, but at that time, a lot of people started yelling out what seemed to be the N-word, but
my fucking god, yes.
But it actually wasn't. They were trying to get the attention of the mascot, whose name is very close to the N-word.
Yes.
It was just very unfortunate that at the time it was a black person.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And it's also there is a particular video game which is bang bang bang.
Yes, that was the other one I was going to say.
Zombie game where black guys have been playing a thing where zombies appear to use the N slur. And the videos are hilarious where black guys are playing a beta of a particular game where you're going bang 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 shooting videos, and zombies are basically just moaning, going, and zombies appear to go, nigga, and black guys playing videos going, what the fuck did you just call me? What did that zombie just call me? And it's clearly not intentional, but multiple black dudes playing a beta of this zombie shoot 'em up game.
And it wasn't just
the
black
zombie
guys.
appears to have just called me the N-word, and the studio that's releasing the game is going, honestly, for real, we do not have zombies saying racial slurs, but when you posted that video where the random guttural blah, we have the zombie saying, yeah, that does sound a bit like the...
So what happened? Yeah, it was two zombie growls mixed together. When they say it at the same time, when that's mixed together, it unfortunately sounds, it makes the N-word.
And again, the videos I've seen of black dudes who are playing a beta of this zombie game, where a zombie leads in and goes, no! And the black dudes are going, what the fuck?
So it's the game's
it's so funny. Black guys who are just gamers going, what did that zombie just call me? It's just like, oh, what the fuck?
The game's called I forgot the name of the game, but it's kind of like a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead.
Yes, it is. I saw that as well. People are saying it's like a successor to Left. But again, there's nothing funnier than black dude gamers playing a thing where a zombie appears to use the N slur, and they're just playing a thing, and they go like, "What the fuck did that zombie just call me?"
There was in the news. There was a. So this is kind of crazy. Down south somewhere, like of course they've been south. There was a principal, and the principal is black, by the way, but she segregated her own black students from their white students and put them in their own special quote unquote black classes. And this parent found it out because she wanted her daughter to be in a certain class, and the principal was like, she's not allowed to be in that class because that's not a black class. And I was like, the fact that it was a black principal that did it, I was like, what? I was like, I don't know. I was very shocked.
Wow.
And you would think her of all people, especially in this day and age, in this climate, and in this country, would know that that's very, very inappropriate. Inappropriate isn't even a harsh enough word for it.
Oh, no.
But I was like, okay. But as for the baseball thing, it's like, just lately, everyone is overly sensitive to anything racial, and it's to the point where I'm desensitized to it. I don't care anymore about them. Like I'm not like I don't care about this group of people. I just don't care about the issues. Like it's an issue, and everyone argues about it so much, it just becomes. Like how there's so much gun violence in my country, I'm numb to it. They'll be like, "There's a shooting at a school," and I'm like, "Of course there was. When isn't there a shooting at a school?"
Of course there was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God! And again, in Australia, we are comparatively so lucky. It's like all my friends who are in the US have to deal when there is yet another mass shooting, and we were like,
Yeah, it's like
They have, don't they have mass shooting drills in some schools in the US?
Yes.
Yeah, there's actually backpacks you can buy that have
insane.
bulletproof Kevlar in the backpack.
Yes, bulletproof backpack. That is
For kids.
It's so sad. It's unbelievably that's so like messed up that they would necessitate that. And there's down south there's a lot of schools that have like armed teachers. They have pistols on their waistbands.
Yep.
Oh.
No. The idea of teachers having a firearm. So many teachers through my life, and again, I'm old, so I'm talking about 70s and 80s. So many teachers I had, if they had a firearm, they would have shot me in the fucking head.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I was a little piece of shit who was causing trouble, and they'd be like, no, motherfucker, bam.
I'm sure there was many teachers in my school that wished they had a gun.
Yeah, John, and that's the thing. As soon as you hear about the concept of teachers having weapons, I think if you're a rational human, you look at the fucked up shit you did as a kid, and then, oh my god, my teachers would have shot me right in the fucking head.
Yeah.
And then there's the irony.
The other thing I've heard. Oh, sorry, Justin. You go.
Yeah, and then there's the irony that I mentioned in the chat before about how they market guns to kids in the US. So it's like,
yes.
Oh, really?
Oh no, absolutely.
What?
And this goes back to the fucking 1960s, and it's in the 1960s and 70s. It used to be BB guns, but now in the US, it's like serious fucking firearms. But it was always firearms have been marketed to kids in the US since the 1960s.
Yeah, they literally sell child rifles in the gun shops. You can go buy one. You can buy pink ones. You can buy.
Oh, pink rifles. Yes.
My brother has a pink rifle for his wife. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And don't get me started about that. Don't get me started. Not the pink rifle, that situation.
And the other thing I've heard, in some schools, it's gotten to the stage, I don't know, but there's metal detectors that the kids have to go through every morning
That's
before they
actually
go to class.
that's been at a lot of schools for like a few decades now, especially any school that's in an inner city. Like they have metal detectors in the inner cities. I've never gone to a school that bad, but there's a lot of them that are here that have metal detectors.
I find that incomprehensible.
Yeah,
but,
like that's just to any Australian that would be, incomprehensible, as you say, Abigail.
It's all the gang violence.
The mother of my kids, my ex, we went to visit her family in the US in the 90s, and I did visit a school, and there was this whole thing with a metal, and this was in the 90s with a fucking metal detector and whatnot. And I was trying to say to people, oh, from the perspective of an Australian, this is insane. This just seems so yeah. But I also understood that we're going like, oh yeah, no, too many people have weapons, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, all the schools are basically made like a fort. Like I stopped going to school like a decade ago, but even I remember like it's every single door is more as like locked up. You have to be buzzed in. Even when you're buzzed in, the office is behind this. Like it's not bulletproof glass, but it's behind glass. It's all the schools are made like a fort, so no one can get in unless they want you to get in.
Yeah. No.
Okay, so for Micro and Justin, if they don't know, back in the day, we had a mass shooting at Port Arthur.
I live in Australia.
Oh, okay. Sorry, mate.
Didn't Mr. Angry do a video on that?
Yes.
Yeah,
no, the
he
Port
would
Arthur
have.
shooting is from the 90s. That was the last major shooting incident in Australia. Yes.
And at the time, it was the most amount of people killed.
Yes.
In a mass shooting, and when that happened, because we had pretty lax gun laws like everywhere else, and then when that happened, our government just came in and said, "Screw that, gun laws."
And what's important to note is this was a conservative government. It was the Conservative Party was in control, and John Howard, who was an incredibly conservative, and also I hate John Howard. He's a piece of shit.
It's probably the only good thing he did.
But he stood up and went, okay, Australia does not want this shit to happen. And he stood up and said, I'm going to introduce all these gun control laws. We're going to a buyback where anyone who has a gun, which we have now declared to be illegal, they can hand it in to a police station. They will be paid what that weapon is worth, and that weapon is going to be crushed. And
they still do that. Once a year, they still do that.
They have gun amnesties.
That was 20 years ago. There are probably more firearms in private hands in Australia now than there were pre the Port Arthur massacre, which is very unsettling. And there is a very tiny minority in politics in Australia who push like, I don't want any limitations on individual liberty. And they're a tiny minority, but they keep trying to undermine the gun control laws that we have. And so we can't ignore them. We can't pretend they don't exist. There are probably more firearms in private hands now in Australia than there were prior to the Port Arthur. Oh my God, I've got the hiccups.
Oh, I didn't notice.
And you're wicked drunk too.
I am wicked drunk. I was going to throw out the hiccups are directly related to the amount of alcohol.
I get the drunk hiccups too.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you this question. Is your ex from the US?
Oh, okay. You mean my ex, who I've cited as being fucking crazy? No, my ex, who I cite as being crazy, is a fucking South African. So, um,
Okay.
so by South African standards, she was very progressive and together. By Australian standards, she was particularly scary and okay. Here's the weird thing.
Did she think she was turning into a bug?
No. She was bisexual prior to me. Okay, prior to me, she was married to another white South African guy, but she broke up with him, and then she was with a black South African woman, and then she was with me. But her brain was porridge. I'm just going to say her brain was porridge because she would randomly say, "Oh, my ex, he fucked a black woman. What a piece of shit he is." And I was like, "You fucked a black woman. What the fuck are you talking about?" And again, she absolutely, at the time, because this was 15, 20 years ago, she was diagnosed with, at the time they called it bipolar disorder. Now we call it complex PTSD. She was fucked up, basically, and she would say weird shit. Abigail, go.
Before in the stream when I said I went through a crazy time of my life.
Yes,
that was untreated complex PTSD. It's
complex
PTSD
is a real thing.
Yeah, and
sorry, go Abigail. Go ahead.
I'm so much more like I'm treated. Everything's fine. Like it was hard, but when I realized, oh shit, I think it's me.
Yeah,
I went and got help.
Yeah. And here's where the progression was for me. When I was with her and it was all fucked up, and I was going, what was that? Because particularly it stemmed from my ex, who was the mother of my children. When I started up with someone else, I was like, I don't want to fuck up again. So when this person fucks with me, I want to pretend they are not fucking with me, because I'm a strong man and I'm in control of my life and I'm not letting this other person fuck with me. But this other person was absolutely fucking with me. And it took a while. But again, I there were two levels of liberation from it. One was I'd been away from a while. Mrs. Angry goes, that's complex PTSD. What she had was what we used to call bipolar disorder, what we currently call complex PTSD. And the first liberation for myself was, oh my God, she was crazy. She was actually fucking crazy. And I feel better. But the second liberation was friends I made on the internet who had complex PTSD. And I liked them. I liked them as people and I wanted to support them. And I went, oh, you have complex PTSD. Previously, I just went, oh, my ex who fucked with me, she had complex PTSD. So I feel better because she was crazy. But then when people I like turn out to have complex PTSD, I was going, oh, you shouldn't just write people off who have complex PTSD because
it's different. And it's different when you're close to someone. Like like it's very different if you're either friends or an intimate partner who you're Hi, Stella.
Hi, Stella.
I like to say
when you don't like someone who has complex PTSD, you just go, oh my God, I'm so relieved. They're just fucking crazy. And that's for me, that was level one of my healing, going, oh my God, my ex was crazy. I'm not imagining it. She was fucking crazy. But then you make friends with people that you're not intimately involved with, and they have complex PTSD, and you go, oh, people with complex PTSD aren't pieces of shit. Because the first stage of healing was going, yes, my ex had complex PTSD. She was fucked up. Fuck that shit. And that's the first level of healing. But the second level of healing is going, oh, here's someone I like who has complex PTSD, but I'm not in a relationship with them. So I can go, oh my God, someone with complex PTSD isn't automatically a piece of shit. And it's like, and it's so relieving. And I also I feel very spoiled. You know, Mrs. Angry is a counselor and she's helped me through this stuff. And something like I'm not a client of hers. I'm not someone going to her saying, "Hi, social worker, I'm fucked up. Can you help me?" It's like,
Please
"Oh,
fix
you are
me.
my intimate partner, but you have certain skills and insights that help me understand things." So God, I feel so fucking lucky that it would have been okay to just go, I'm not making it up. My ex was fucking crazy. But to actually make that leap beyond that to people who are suffering from this very real mental health condition, they're not necessarily pieces of shit. They're just people who are suffering from a very complex mental health condition. And it's like, oof, that's a whole new thing. That is a whole new thing. And
Well, I'm glad you came to that
yes,
realization, and
Yeah.
and I think you just told the same story 5 times.
yeah, I did. I absolutely did. And that is directly linked to the number of cocktails I've had.
Yeah, yeah, I figured that.
I've
And
never
I'm glad,
noticed
'cause
that in
I
the
don't- I
streams
don't-
before, ever.
I
would
don't
say,
have any other friends that I can say just whatever is in my head to, things like that, because I've learned over the years that saying that is
Yep.
usually a bad thing,
Yep.
but it's also can be funny. So
Oh yeah.
And when you're talking about bipolar and PTSD,
yes.
being diagnosed as bipolar back in the day, I actually have bipolar,
Yes.
and it is completely different to PTSD.
Well, see, that's the thing. And yes, bipolar is definitely different to PTSD. The thing that used to be called borderline personality disorder is now more correctly referred to as complex PTSD. But Johnny, you are correct. Bipolar is a literally completely different thing.
yes,
to
absolutely.
PTSD. You are correct. Yes.
And Abigail, I'm so glad that you got help and doing well now.
And
Thank
also,
you. Thank you.
Stella just throwing out, you can tell I'm drunk because I repeat myself multiple.
I would
And-
say, I would say that like your experience probably relates to like other disabilities as well, because
Yes.
I'm actually mildly autistic.
Yes.
Now, you wouldn't necessarily know that if you just met me, and I'm not the sort of person that's going to tell you straight up. I might tell you if I feel I can trust you, but I'm not going to tell you straight up. And part of the reason is that people form judgments about you very, very quickly.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Literally, like
much better.
75% of the people who come on this stream are autistic.
Yeah,
It's
I was
so
going to
funny.
say
I
there's
don't know
certain people
what
in
I
the
do.
stream right now.
I don't know what I do.
Not
to
me,
attract
but
people who are not
On the spectrum.
not neurotypical, not sexual too. It's not just being on the spectrum. It's also people who are on divergent on the sexual spectrum, which I am absolutely here for. I am full of the love for everyone who is atypical, whether it's on the neuro level or on the sexual level.
Or both.
We're just there. We're
And
there.
just say like, you attract awesome people that
Yes.
have
Yes, Johnny.
various experiences about the world, no matter what they
Yes.
are.
Yes. And I kind of sound like Celtic King at the moment because I want to throw out all the love for everyone.
All the love. Yeah.
Everyone who is on the spectrum of the atypical neuro side of thing, everyone who's on the spectrum for the atypical sexual thing, and this is the weirdest thing. I am like a cishet male with no diagnosed mental health issues and whatnot, but oh my god, I fucking love all these friends who are just on this incredibly broad spectrum, and it's although, and I'll just put in on the various posts people make on social media when they go like, yeah, and they're going like, this is what I am with the atypical, with the mental things or the sexual things or the ADHD things, and I'm going like, yeah, and then like, wait a minute, I've sorry, I've never been diagnosed on that, but we're all together. That's all.
Although
You should go get a diagnosis and just see what happens.
Yes.
I must say, my best friend, he got diagnosed with complex personality disorder or whatever.
Yeah, no, complex PTSD is
PTSD, yeah.
Oh, no,
is a
sorry, it's
good
not
thing.
complex. No, it's oh, what is it? No, personality disorder.
Is it a
borderline personality
dissociative
Yeah,
disorder?
borderline personality disorder.
It's the same thing. Borderline personality disorder
borderline personality
is
disorder is now referred to
complex
as complex
PTSD.
PTSD.
Okay.
Because
And-
borderline personality disorder was traditionally on the borderline, and I may be wrong here, but I think it was on the borderline of like bipolar and autistic. And what psychologists have come to understand is it's actually the product of trauma, whether it's physical trauma or psychological trauma.
Yep.
The things that we were just going like, oh, that person's just kind of
So-
fucked up. Whereas you're going, oh no, what they're experiencing is a completely rational response to trauma they have experienced.
Even though he's like my best friend and all that kind of stuff, every now and then I'll just go and hang out with him, and
Yeah.
he's the hardest person to be around sometimes.
Yes, Johnny, that's a difficult thing to acknowledge, but it's real. When you're with someone, you go, okay, it's actually super fucking difficult to be around that person. And again, because I am essentially neurotypical, and I'm also essentially very cishet and whatnot, and it is important to acknowledge occasionally, I want to be supportive of this person, I want to help them, but fuck me, they're difficult to be around sometimes. And because
Yeah.
we want to support our friends, and even we
Exactly,
want to
like-
support strangers.
I want to be there for him all the time, but every now and then when I'm out with him, is just not happening. And
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had this meltdown a couple of years ago that alienated a bunch of people, and it's because someone who I used to hang out with, friends with, he started sharing stuff on Facebook that was from it was basically a misogynist hate site, and I went, what the fuck are you doing? This is not only factually not wrong, it's It's fucking so. And I just lost it. I was just going a thing, and I went, "This is fucked." And they were trying to do that. Oh, educate me. And I specifically told them, "Stop responding to me because you make me so fucking angry at the moment. I am just losing my shit because you are sharing absolute lies from a fucking misogynist hate site, and I just want you to fucking stop. And if you're not going to stop, just stop fucking responding to me because at the moment I'm in this spiral."
I can't stand it when people say, "Well, educate me," as if it's my job to educate them.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
fuck off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you it's bad. Yeah.
This was a few years ago. I alienated a whole bunch of people who had been YouTube associates for more than 10 years. And they were like, "Oh, you just acted really bad." And I went, "Oh, did I react badly to someone sharing hate from a misogynist hate site? Well, how about go fuck yourself, okay? How about just go fuck yourself?" And so I ended up with this whole spectrum of people who I'd been associating with for 10 years cut out of my life because this one dude shared, and he was literally an LNP voter at federal elections.
Oof.
And he was literally sharing this stuff from a misogynist hate site. And I went, "What? Just get fucked. Just fuck off." And people said, "You're reacting really badly." And I went, "But he's sharing stuff from a misogynist hate site." And yes, I am willing to say for about 24 hours, I reacted extremely emotionally, and I just lost my shit and went, "Fuck you, fuck your family. I want to push all of you into the volcano. Fuck you." And and people said, "That's mean." And I went, "He was sharing stuff from a misogynist hate site as if it was a rational thing to do." And it's like, if you're upset that I got angry and emotional, just okay, stick your dildo up your fucking butt and get out of my life.
Unless that's his thing.
Yeah, and honestly, if it was his thing, if he got enjoyment out of sticking a dildo up his butt, don't stick a dildo up your butt because I don't want you to enjoy anything.
Then you just get a bigger dildo.
No, yeah.
Oh,
It's like get the anal intruder. It's like,
Yeah.
Oh wow,
What
that's
was the old what's the
That's-
movie called? Top Secret. It was from the video days in the 80s. And it was such a throwaway joke, and it was the best throwaway joke I have ever heard in my life. Val Kilmer was the lead in this movie. It was called Top Secret. It was a spoof of spy and war movies. And there was this one bit where some guy's saying to Val Kilmer, and it's like they're trying to work something out, and you thought they were talking about the politics because Val Kilmer was trying to stop Nazis, and this guy who's talking to him is saying, "No matter how hard I try, blah, 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 blah," and he goes, "No matter how hard I try, I can't bring my wife to orgasm." And Val Kilmer goes, "Here," and he hands him this
good night,
box.
Kirsten.
He hands him a box that's about this big, and it's labeled the anal intruder. And it's a dildo that has a fist. It's a dildo that's the size of a human forearm that has a fist on the end of it. And it was just a throwaway joke. It was a completely throwaway joke. When you thought this guy was saying, "No matter how hard I try, I can't fix this problem." But what he says is, "No matter how hard I try, I can't bring my wife to orgasm." And Val Kilmer hands him this box for a sex toy called the anal intruder. It's like, Jesus. Okay.
I came into that conversation at the wrong time before all of that, where you just said something about an anal intruder, and you're making the motion before all of that, explanation about the movie.
Yeah, and also good night, Kristen. Kirsten, who's going to sleep. And also, Abigail. Yeah, you said the Cockzilla. There's a friend of mine who's a dominatrix in the UK, in London. She's an Aussie, and she works as a dominatrix in the UK, where her basic thing is to wear a strap on and fuck dudes up the butt. And because I got to hang out with her, this was like, I don't know,
Hey, I might be one of her clients.
oh, no, Johnny, it's completely legit. And she's an awesome person. And I got to hang out with her because Mrs. Angry was born in the UK. And we've gone back a couple of times in the last 10, 15 years to visit her family. And I did a road trip. And I when I was in London, I got to hang out with her. And she showed me her apartment was fucking hilarious because it's a nice little 1-bedroom apartment. And there's a St. Andrew's cross in the corner, which is an X, where she basically straps dudes in this X formation and fucks them up the butt with strap-ons. And then she showed me her collection of strap-ons, and she's like, this is the introducer, which is really gentle. And there was like 6 gradations through to Cockzilla, which was this fucking enormous dildo that she would strap on and fuck guys with. And I was just sitting, we were literally having a chicken dinner, sitting around chatting about this stuff. I was just like, this is possibly the funniest night of my life, that we are just hanging around, having a good time, having a chicken dinner and a couple of drinks, and there's a St. Andrew's cross in the corner of this room, and you just showed me this whole drawer of strap-on dildos. And it was like,
So all
Okay,
the
so I'm trying to
dildos
find-
are there.
I'm trying to find a picture that's relevant to this. Give me
Yeah.
1 second, and then I'm
All
going
right.
to share my screen.
Very angry. So
Johnny, what are you saying?
all those dildos are hanging
Yep.
around in this place. But
Yep.
were the vegetables overcooked?
No,
Yeah.
Actually, she made a really nice dinner. We had a roast chicken
Good call,
and
Dan.
There you
again,
go.
she just bought stuff, and it was really nice. And it was an incredibly nice evening. We just hung out and chatted, and it was really nice. And I laughed my fucking guts out while she was showing me this spectrum of dildos that she fucked dudes with, and I was like,
Didn't you get to it? Didn't you tell us a story about how you went to how you went to a sex shop once, and it was about like they had these paddles, it was with the with words written on them to try and.
Oh yes, sorry, Justin. Okay, my 2 favorite things. I do have a few videos from about 10 years ago where I was in sex shops, and there's a particularly funny one where they had a butt plug that was so big it looked like a traffic cone, and I had AZ in there, and he was coming up with it. But yes, no, I went into a sex shop once, and they had
AZ in a sex shop, that's dangerous.
they had these things for spanking people that would imprint a word on their butt. And there was one for if you were a woman dominatrix spanking a guy that would imprint the word pig onto their butt cheeks when you spank them really hard. But there was a whole series of them. There was pig, slut, whore, and I went into and this is a sex shop that's in the central business district of Melbourne. And I went in because a friend of mine who had never been into a sex shop, and I went, oh, okay, well, we're going in. And I took her in, and I thought it would just be illuminating her. But they had a bunch of stuff I'd never seen. And I'm like, oh my God. And there was this and there was spanking stuff that was a whole spectrum. From one was just a little thing that had a heart on it, So if you spank someone with them, you'd leave a heart imprint on their butt cheeks. But the ones that cracked me up that I thought were hilarious were these huge leather paddles that if you hit someone really hard, they would leave either pig or slut or whore imprinted on their butts. Abigail's sharing something.
Wait! Before we
share it,
we share it, context.
Yeah.
This is an in-game screenshot from a game I play called Elite Dangerous.
Yes.
And it's a ship that I own.
Yes.
In the middle of the galaxy, just this tiny little ship. And I've kitted it out, I've over-engineered it and everything, but it's like the starter ship, which is funny in itself. But show the picture.
All right, so this is the picture.
So look closely at the name.
Hot
That's
AB?
the registry number.
Yeah.
Hutton Orbital Truckers and my call sign. But the name of the ship.
Are you quite are you shall I say oh, I lost my train of thought.
That's okay, Johnny. We all lose our train of thought occasionally.
Yes, I've had many drinks.
Yeah, me too, brother.
Because I don't want to go and buy cigarettes, apparently.
No, don't buy cigarettes. Just drink alcohol.
Wouldn't drinking make you want to smoke more?
Are you quite popular with that that ship title, that ship name?
I mean, there are funnier ship names than that. But it was
There may be funnier, but there may be none more to the point.
It's funny because it's
dropping out of hyperspace and like the
anal intruder
is here.
The funny part is that it's the starter ship. Like you cannot get a weaker ship, and I've over-engineered it.
And
so I've made it kind of good, but it's still crap. And I spent actual money to buy a ship skin for it, and that's more the joke, but that's more of an in joke. But then what's a cool, funny name for it? The anal intruder.
Yeah,
I should put railguns on it. It comes with like a tiny little chain gun.
No,
and
you must
missiles.
put railguns on it.
I got to put railguns or some Gauss cannons.
Yeah.
You must rail the enemy.
I see where I see what you did there.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok today that one of my long-term YouTube friends, Chopper, did with a friend of his. Chopper's a queer guy, and he had his gay friend on, and he's doing these different hand signals, and I forget what they all were, but it was like one finger is the intruder, and is the pleaser, and the shocker. And then he went like this one, which I thought was the run the jewels symbol, and he called that the minibus, and his friends really confused, going, "What's that?" And he goes, 2 in the front, 5 in the back. And,
oh my god!
What?
Oh my god! Oh, Jesus! Shit!
So,
wow!
At the gay club, one of the gay clubs in Albany, they have these dildos on the wall that you can buy, and they're like, you guys use metric, right? So they're like a little over a meter. They're like a meter, a little over a meter, and they're on the wall, and you can buy them. They're like $300 or $400, and they have like a few of them there you can buy. But I don't know who's going to gay clubs. Like, I definitely want to buy that dildo.
Are they double-ended or something? Like,
no, it's like it's like a big. You put it on the floor, and I guess you would more ride it really than it. I don't know how you would use it. You would have to put a saddle on it.
I have a fucking German friend who's into like quite extreme kink, and he's trying to explain to an Australian friend who thought he's saying like, no, it's when you're doing vaginal and anal things is different because a vagina and a uterus has a limit, but technically, when you're doing butt stuff, you can just keep going up. Oh no, okay, Abigail, you have
Yes.
insight.
I have a question for you. How many F's are there in euphorus?
Euphorus? No, I said.
That's what you said. I know, but you were drunk.
No, I know.
You accidentally said euphorus.
That's my excuse. But no, because he got into a kind of argument with a friend of mine who was, kind of like a sex positive person, and she's kind of like, stop saying like, vaginas can't do stuff. And I was trying to say to my friend, no, you don't know this dude. This dude and his circle of people, they're German. They do really fucking
Yeah.
I may have seen some of his videos. He's done some.
No. And again, he's pretty. And he didn't take the bait when my friend, who's an Aussie, who got a bit worked up, like, oh, stop telling me that, vaginas can't take things. And I was like, no, he's not fucking about. I know from a few people I've talked to in his circle, they are so far beyond anything I ever want to do. They do all this shit. And it's like, when you get into butt stuff, you are basically traveling up someone's fucking intestines, and you can just keep going essentially. And vaginas and uteruses have a limit, but it was like, and it was just like,
let's just say really it feels like a snake swallowing you whole. That's what I've heard.
Friends who are both sort of going, oh no, and I'm like, oh, it's kind of, you're both not wrong, but you're also both kind of in but also it's just getting into weird shit, and I don't want to get involved in it. It's just like, oh, John, no. And it's like that. Drink to that. Because again, I'm very positive and supportive to a whole bunch of people, and I'm very positive and supportive to people who are into shit that I am just not into, and that's cool. And it's like, again, I am the most cishet guy going. I have so many gay friends, I have so many lesbian friends, I have so many trans friends, and it's like, I'm with you 100%. But in terms of me and my sexual activity, is just not a thing that happens with me. But I'm 100% there supporting you in the stuff that you do. And it's like, and again, probably like 90% of my friends who are on the queer spectrum, they understand me and they respect it. Every now and then I'll get someone who goes, oh no, the fact that you haven't absolutely condemned me must mean you want me to do this thing to you. And I'm like, no, I don't. I absolutely don't want you to do that thing to me, but I'm cool with you doing that thing. And they're going, nah, you're cool with it, so you must want it. I'm going, no, genuinely, I don't want it. But yeah, and it's a weird position to be in. Sometimes only with a small number of people. The overwhelming majority of my friends are like, oh yeah, that's you. You're over here, and you're cool with the things that are over here, but you're not into the things over here. But you get a small number of people who go, because you're okay with the things that are over here, you must be into the things that are over here.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at Megaleech's comment of ciswet19. If you know, you know.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, no, yeah. And Megaleech knows. Again, Megaleech is someone I've been friends with for a very long time. And yeah, and I love that, Johnny. That's one of my favorite sayings. If you know, you know.
So I want to step outside. I kind of live by a highway, so if it's too loud, let me know and I can stop that.
Right here.
Micro USB. If you want to share pictures of it, highway, because occasionally
Yeah,
we've had this.
I would like to
People
see
from-
actually as well.
Yeah, people from very different parts of the world on the stream have shared video of their very different parts. If you want to share, that is cool. If you don't want
Well,
to,
it's like so it's like a back road highway. It's like a
Yeah.
highway if you know what I mean, like goes through the woods type
Yeah.
of deal. But yeah, I'll show some pictures.
yeah,
Show some video.
yeah. If you want to share some streaming of where you are, that is cool. Because we've
Can I
had that.
flip the camera?
Yeah.
Do you guys know
Is
if I
there-
can? Will it let me
I-
use my back camera instead of the front camera?
Yeah.
Let me
Because I
see.
remember when. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we can see. What is that? What do we
That's
see?
that's
the
the
sky.
guy. I'm
that's
trying to see
him
if I
with
can
some
flip
great
the
headphones
camera.
on.
Oh, what did
Oh.
I
Oh, we lost him.
Shit. No, ad. There you are. You're back. There,
Okay.
Hey.
Hey, hello.
Oh, look
Hello.
at that brilliant beard.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that is a fucking
So-
wicked beard, bro.
Hang on.
Yes. What city are you in?
I live outside of Albany. Let me see if I can go over.
Yeah. Albany,
you can-
New York. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, let me see if I can.
I was trying to put you front and center in the stream, but
Do you see the intersection?
Yeah. Okay. There. Okay. We're seeing you the most detail we can see now. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's basically, and then the highway or whatever. Yeah. I guess it's technically a highway.
Yeah.
Was that your
I can't-
boat over there earlier?
No, that's my stepfather's son's boat.
Oh, okay. All right. That's it.
So
Cool.
yeah, that's that.
All the cars are driving on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah. They're very dumb.
You-
They're going to get
do you
into
guys-
a crash.
Do you guys use metric for like I know in the UK they use like the road signs will say X kilometers, but they use miles an hour.
Yeah.
Do you
we
guys
use-
No,
use-
we're
we use
metric for everything.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're normal.
What is normal, really?
Yeah.
There is one road in the US in one state and the whole section of road is in metric.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it's one section of a road and it's the only one. I don't think the states will ever convert to metric.
Is that like
Okay.
the only road in the US that's metric?
The only one. It's the only one that has any metric signs on it.
Okay.
Wow. I
that's
like
it.
that road. That's
Cool.
I
Yeah.
only want to drive on that road in the US because it will make sense to me.
I feel like
Otherwise,
metric.
I'll just crash instantly.
I'm
I feel
more
like
interested
metric-
in why it's metric.
Because way back, I think it was in the 80s when they were proposing actually flipping the metric. That city or town, whatever it was on board with it. They were like, "Yeah, let's do this," and everybody else wasn't. So they converted their signs to metric, and no one else did.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
That's weird.
And the fact that you said way back in the 80s just made me feel really old.
Yeah, my car is from the 80s.
Yeah.
But you probably
Oh,
won't
you
even
that
know
does
it. It's
not
an
help.
American car.
Micro, you just taking a massive vape. That's bringing me back to the
was a pretty
days.
aggressive vape cloud. Yeah.
Back to the days where I used to vape.
Yeah, I used to
Um,
smoke, and actually, what's his name? Grasshopper was talking about Chantix.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, I tried taking Chantix so I could quit smoking, and I had a bad reaction to it. It gave me some sort of chest issues. I had to call an ambulance.
Yeah.
So I stopped taking that, and I could never quit smoking. So I just switched to vaping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was vaping for like 5 years, but in Australia, it's illegal to well, sorry, it was you could import it for your own use, and then when the pandemic started happening, they decided the wonderful government we have here decided to bring in a law where they decided to fully ban it, and so you could only import it for your if you went and to a doctor to get a prescription.
In
And
my
yeah.
state, they raised the age to buy cigarettes and vape products to 21.
Mm.
And they made they banned flavored vape. So like I'm
Oh,
not
yeah,
allowed to go
flavored
buy
vape
like
is
raspberry
Yeah, I
vape
heard
or
that
anything
one.
because because they're trying to entice kids or because kids like it. And I'm like, teenagers are gonna do whatever they want. They always have.
Yeah,
And when I started
exactly.
smoking, it was a menthol cigarette, and I didn't like the taste. I just kept smoking because I liked smoking. Like
Yeah. Because you think smoking's cool. Yeah.
like
I mean, the only reason I started smoking is because I hung out with a whole heap of musicians back in the day, and what do musicians do? They bloody smoke when they're not playing their instruments.
chain smoke.
So,
Yes.
I'm a musician. I don't smoke.
well, you're the exception that proves the rule.
I don't understand that saying at all.
No, it is. Yeah, and I also actually I kind of agree with you, Abigail. I've never fully understood that saying, but it's kind of like here's a rule: everyone does this, and someone goes, "I don't," and go, "You're the exception that proves the rule," and I'm like, "What? What does that mean?"
That makes no sense.
True, it is a very silly.
Oh.
We lost you. We lost
We
him.
lost my
Oh,
USB, but
we lost
I said he sent a message. You'll be right back. I
Okay.
really fucking enjoy it. It's kind of like we occasionally like when Gecko showed us really weird stuff, like the super huge convenience store petrol station he was in that time. I really enjoyed when he
Where was that,
showing us,
like?
and this was ages ago, and because he was in Texas, I think, and he's
Oh,
going,
okay.
he was doing the equivalent of Uber driving, and he's going, I'm just getting things, and there were like 20 petrol pumps at this place, and he went into the convenience store part, and they had a wall of beef jerky. There were like 50 flavors of beef jerky, and we were all just watching like, dude, and he was just going, this is just normal.
See,
And
that's Abigail's hell.
Yeah,
That's my heaven.
Yeah, all of us Aussies were just going, this is fascinating. You're in a convenience store that has an entire wall dedicated to beef jerky. And it was just like, my God.
All right, Abigail, I've got a couple of questions for you.
Oh, yeah?
So, the game you were talking about earlier, was it
Elite
Star
Dangerous,
Citizen?
yeah? Elite Dangerous.
Sorry, Elite Dangerous.
Yes.
Is that the game that's been where you can what is it? It's like you have to like well, you don't have to, but there's like these ridiculous ships that can be sold to you in the game. Is it the one that's
that sounds more like EVE Online?
I was about to say that sounds like EVE Online. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I was just wondering about. And also, what are you printing in the background?
I'm printing a little storage case for a friend of mine for a board game that she really enjoys playing. That's the lid. It's called Wingspan. It's a really fun game. The game is basically competitive bird watching.
Competitive bird watching. Excellent.
It's lots of fun. It's actually lots of fun to play, and it's bird watching, and it's just a really cute game. It's not like you have a winner, but it's what you do doesn't affect other people, so it's not as super competitive, and it's just this really chill board game.
Nice.
Hey, it's midnight, and I'm getting a bit tired, so I'm actually going to head off.
Right.
I'm not that far behind you, Justin. Thanks for hanging out, brother. I just put the link back so Micro USB could rejoin.
And to answer Megaleech's question, EVE Online has totally been described as spreadsheets in space.
Yes.
Because
Okay.
there is
Yeah,
logistics involved. And like it's when you get those big space battles, it grinds to a halt. And you get
Yeah,
like
I think I know the one you're talking about now. I was thinking of another one. I can't
Star
remember the
Citizen.
name. Yeah, Star Citizen. I was thinking of that, and I was
That-
kind of just I was hoping that you were not being.
Oh, well, actually, Star Citizen's not that bad. There's a running joke because it has raised millions of dollars,
Mm,
and in the past 10 years, in 10 years they haven't released it yet. But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like you can buy like access to it, so you can buy the game. It isn't finished, but has such grand like designs and such amazing like I don't even know how to describe it. It's just so like its goals are just huge, and it's starting to get there, and it's
It just
it's
needs a
actually
bit
becoming
more
it's
for
becoming
me,
playable.
and
It's
not to
actually becoming
charge for the
well
ships
they
that
are they okay
cost
so
how much money?
So no, here's the deal. They do they do release ships that you can pay money for, and some of them cost literally thousands of dollars of actual money to buy. But then
Oh,
a month later, they are free. So what you're buying is early access to those ships.
Yes.
So
Oh,
the only
really?
thing, yes. So the
I
only thing
didn't
you have to
realize that.
pay is that one-off cost, and if you're willing to wait, then you'll get everything for free.
I didn't
Um,
realize that you got stuff for free afterwards.
Yes,
If you
yes, you
were
do.
willing, like, I'm such a waiter you will not believe. I've been waiting for so many things for so long.
Yeah, I'm patient as well. I
Yeah.
will wait as well.
You're
I
making
remember
me
what-
think back. Sorry, my career speaker.
I was going to say, I remember I watched a video about EVE Online. You mentioned EVE Online, and they were talking
Yep.
about some battles, and they were saying that they can get so intense. People like, because you have to spend real world cash on it. The battles can end up being like hundreds of thousands of real world dollars.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Battles.
It's more than that because like people, it's basically a libertarian game
Yeah.
in space,
And then I guess
and
there was a
people
time where-
form actual corporations in the game and amass actual power that they can influence in real life because of this game,
Yeah.
which is
I guess-
fucking ridiculous.
There was something where someone like I don't know, they did some sort of backstabby thing where they pretended they were on one side and then they flipped the script and then
Yes.
they took all their
Yes.
ships and everything and they basically took like tens of thousands of dollars worth of stuff and they were like, "Oh, bye. Thanks for that."
Yep.
Yeah. There was
Yeah.
another fun one where someone accidentally jumped into enemy territory and like, oh fuck, I'm gonna lose everything, and they sent out a distress call, and they ended up with this epic battle that again involved everyone's coming in, and it involved hundreds of people, and it involved thousands of dollars of real money, and
Yep.
grasshoppers come back.
But I could get into that.
Grasshopper.
Hello again.
Let me
Hello.
just say,
I'm
you
gonna
better not
throw
be
out-
smoking some of those analogs.
Yeah, I'm going to throw
Yes.
out. It's coming up on
You
midnight.
might make me
I
want to
am-
go and
I'm
drive.
going to
drunk.
go to bed. I'm going to go to bed.
Okay.
But anyone who wants to hang out and do after party type stuff, you have about. I'm just going to. The link is there. I put it in a few minutes ago.
Puzzle.
So anyone
Oh, look at
who
that
wants
puss.
to join to just
She just
hang
likes
and
the
chat
cuddle.
after party wise, You've got about a minute or two to do that, and then I'm
Come
gonna
hang out with me and my pussy.
Yeah, exactly. Who doesn't want to hang out with Abigail's pussy? I'm just
I would
If I
also
ever had
show
a
up.
band, I would call it Mrs. Slocum's pussy.
Yes.
I don't know. I
If-
get to hang out with I get to hang out with Johnny and his micro USB. So you know.
Mate, you have no idea how micro my USB is.
Look, I've told you this before, Johnny. You keep my USB out of this, and I'll keep my USB out of you.
Oh my god, this is so much fun.
Micro
Sorry.
USB's kind of sitting there going, "The fuck did I just get? What the fuck?"
I'm just going with the flow.
Yeah,
Whatever happens,
Go with
happens.
the flow. Yeah, no, that's the way to do it.
And insert
Alright.
that. Insert a "that's what she said" joke just here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
If I did
Alright,
have
so I'm going to kill the live stream, but
Okay.
I'm going to stay. Anyone who wants to join after party will have a minute or two to join the after party. But I'm going to kill the live stream now. So thank you everyone joining. This has been an excellent night. You're wonderful.
Thank you, Angry.
This has been great. I've really enjoyed it.